Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to another video. Sorry, guys, that we're running late, but we're just waiting on Johnny. He said he's going to be a few minutes late, so we'll see him live in a few minutes. We'll chat to him about his opinions. But first off, big up everyone who's locked in already from the start. We're here to discuss potential rumours that came out a few days ago saying Eden Hazard could potentially be returning to Chelsea. This is a very big potentially. So we're going to see what everyone's saying. We're going to open the lines up to everyone in a few minutes to get involved too. Big up Wayne as well, the early donation, saying respect to guys of Haaland, respect to Claude, rest in peace, a true gentleman. I echo all the words. And this one, I'm happy for you guys to spam. Spam RIP Claude as much as you want in the comment section. News has surprised me as much as it surprised everyone else. But really and truly, I just wish Claude was here to see all the energy and the love that he's receiving right now, because maybe if he did, maybe the situation would be different right now. But we can't really look too much on ifs, buts, and maybes. It's a real shame to see what's happened, because Claude's been in a really bad state for a long period of time. And personally, I was hoping he was making amends, but I guess it wasn't as hopeful as we thought. But it's just a shame. It just really is. Rest in peace, Claude. Like, he already knows the love I have for him, and it's just a shame, man. But Scott, anyway, chat to me. What's your thoughts been, bro?
I don't really know.
No, this ain't on the Claude stuff in general. Right? Just in general.
I mean, to be fair, just in general, I hadn't really had anything since seeing the news this morning. That it kind of just, I was surprised, but I've got no other thoughts, to be honest, off the top of my head.
Yeah, this one caught us all off guard. Literally woke up to the news. Like, I'm still in shock hearing it now, because there's always been like worrying points where you thought that something like this would happen. It's a surprise when it actually does. And it's a shame, it really is, because he was such a nice person and everything. But at least we can remember him for the good man that he is. We ain't going to put too much into it. It is a huge shame, but thoughts and condolences are with his family. And I really just hope that they're coping through this situation, because I can only imagine how hard it would be for them right now. But just everyone give him love, everyone give him support, and that's all we can really do. Just say that we're there for support and just let them grieve and mourn in their own way. Wayne, as well, if you want to get involved, I'll send you the link right now. In fact, give me a second. I'll send it over to you if you want to jump involved and get involved with the convo too. We're going to open the lines up in about 20-25 minutes. Just going to briefly go through some of the points regarding Eden Hazard. I'm just sending Wayne over the link quickly. But yeah, there's been rumours linking us with a potential return to Stamford Bridge for the Belgian magician himself, Eden Hazard. Rumours have been circling that Real Madrid are now willing to listen to offers for Eden Hazard as they look to recoup at least part of the 160 million transfer fee that they spent on the Belgian, as they look to other potential transfers in the summer as well. And it was clear that Real Madrid did need to sell in order to buy, and with all the injuries that have been racking up for Eden Hazard, it kind of makes sense that they need to cut their losses now instead of later, because now they need to look to the future. Now they need to get more attacking reinforcements to themselves as well. Now, Football Observatory have suggested that he's really worth 42 million. Transfer Market have claimed that he's only worth 36 million as well. So there's kind of hope that for a cheap deal, we could bring Eden Hazard to the Bridge. And that would be the biggest factor for me. It would be the price tag. Because if we can get him on a cut price deal, I still think that there's a quality player in there if you use him in isolation, if you don't rely on him too much, if you don't use him the same way we would have done, where it's basically Eden Hazard FC and we have to rely on him. We aren't in that state as a team anymore. We now look like more of a team than just an individual carrying the team. And that's kind of why I would still be able to potentially take Eden Hazard if the price is right, because if he was a fourth choice winger for me, and he was someone that we could just kind of leave to the side and let grow and get back to his best and fully recover without any added pressure or without being rushed back into squad too quickly, I do still think that there's a quality player in there. It's just use him in moderation. So if he's there to be used in moderation, I don't think it would necessarily be a bad offer. It's just about the price tag for me.
For me, I still don't see it being a good option, just regardless of the price tag, because I feel as though at the minute he's in. Everyone always talks about the Premier League being the most physical league in terms of you look at the big five. We're talking about a guy who the last year, I think, has had he's missed something like a whole calendar year while being at Real Madrid through injuries or something like that. I could be wrong. Someone correct me in the comments if I am, but I think it's around a calendar year just while being at Real Madrid through injuries. And I think that even though some of that is on the Real Madrid medical team, because they genuinely must be utterly abysmal. I worry that the injuries are just going to pile up anyway, and then it's like the way I see it is we were talking a few weeks to a month ago about rumours linking us with Kingsley Coman. For me, I don't see any difference between that and this. The only difference is Eden Hazard, and we love him. Like we went from looking at
Coleman be more expensive?
Possibly, but at the same time, I still look at it as we were looking at a guy with paper mache knees, to now we're looking at a guy with paper mache ankles. Like, regardless, he's like one again. It's we talked about it with Pulisic, with Coman, where one bad tackle and he could be out for months, season, could be done entirely. And so, yes, it is Eden Hazard, and you're like, nostalgia wants you to see him back. I think realistically, him coming back, it just isn't a good option, especially because then, like, you say he'd be fourth choice, but would he really? Like, you've got Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, you've got Andrew starting to come through a bit more. Like, he might be, we might think he might be fourth choice or third choice or whatever, but I can see him playing instead of someone else, and I see that being a problem later on, like going forward.
It is a thing for me. I feel like I get that a year ago, but for right now, I think even if Hazard was to come, our main two, if they were fully fit, would be Christian Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi for me. And that's where I'd prefer to see the change in dynamic, because, yeah, maybe on quality, he would still deserve to start over the two, but it's not based on quality, it's based on availability. And that's the problem, where he wouldn't be that available for us, which is why I think as a bit part option, he would be better off. But that also depends on the wages and everything like that. And that's the biggest issue too, because he'd also have to take a big price cut to join us. You're right in terms of the injuries as well, but that's why I wouldn't want to use him too much. Because I've already said with Christian Pulisic, I don't want to see him play too much this season. And I feel like the biggest factor for if this transfer was to come out would be that Christian Pulisic would have to be back, and he'd have to be looking like he's not getting injured again either. Because the biggest problem with Christian Pulisic was that he'd get into a run of form and then he'd get injured again. And then we'd have to go and rely on somebody else. The last thing we would need is two injury-prone wingers. That's the biggest worry for me, because we've already seen the rumours after the last injury Eden Hazard had. Doctors were saying if he has another operation on his ankle, he might not even be able to play football yet again. And that's the worrying part too, because we look at the Premier League. He was the most foul player in the Premier League for about 7 years straight. And that's half the reason why he's even in this position right now, because he wasn't protected enough in his first spell in the Premier League. Mourinho complained about it. Eden Hazard complained about it. Nobody in England did anything about it. And he was one tackle away from getting a chronic injury. And that's what happened with Meunier in the PSG game. That's why I'd only see this as a bit part option, because I do think there's still a lot that he could offer to the team in general. It's just, I don't want to bring him in any sort of role where we'd have to rely on him. At least not initially, because that's what the problem would be for me. Wayne, what's your thoughts?
Don't get me wrong, I'm one of Hazard's biggest fans, but I'm going to be real with you. I don't think it'd be a good deal for us, as if he comes back, like you said about injuries, I don't think he's going to be the same player what he was for us. And I'd rather remember him for what he did and what he achieved for us and the winning goals he scored for us, and come back and not be that sort of player and be a part-time player and not be able, he could end his career with us with an injury, not because he wants to end his career. And I'd rather not have that for him. And I think he will be disappointed with that as well. I think he's been injured for, like I said, correct me wrong, like Scott said, I think he's been had about at least 6-7 injuries already where he's been at Real Madrid, and they like you said, he's overweight. He's not fit enough. He doesn't do enough in the training situation either. He's not the person or the player that we know from Chelsea. And I think, to me, that's my biggest point. I just don't think for him or for us it's the best memories we got for him. I'd rather us go and buy a player who's younger, who hasn't got the injuries like that, and who's able to do the game for us. That's what I want. I've got but no, I could totally agree with what Scott and you said with the other situation with it, but to me it's just a big no at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like that's another problem for me as well, because we know what Eden Hazard's like in terms of his training regime and how he was like around Cobham, and everyone said he was the worst trainer in the world, but he justified it with his performances on the pitch. But that was Eden Hazard, and that allowed him to be Eden Hazard. And the worry now, if he came back, would be he'd come into training, he'd still be like Eden Hazard, where he'd just be really lazy and just like go about things very slowly and not really train to the same extent that everyone else on the team would be. But he wouldn't be able to justify that with the performances, and that would be the biggest issue for him as well, because Eden Hazard walked around like he owned the place at Stamford Bridge, but he had every damn right to, because to an extent he did own the place. If the performances don't justify it, though, you're just going off name rights, and then that creates an even bigger problem in the dressing room, because it will be a case of how you're allowing Eden Hazard to move like this in training, still play games. Meanwhile, you got these guys working their ass off and they're still not getting game time, but Eden Hazard isn't justifying the performance. That I would understand. Sadiq, big up yourself, man. I hope everything's good. Chat to me, bro. What's your thoughts?
Hello, Wayne, Scott, Johnny as well, Lewis. Hope you're all good, man.
Big up.
Yeah, Hazard, man, interesting one. Obviously naturally gifted, amazing on the ball, but I feel like it's gonna be one of those ones where if we get him back, we might see like, I don't know if you remember Michael Owen. He was fantastic before his injury, and then he just wasn't the same player. He didn't want to take risks. He didn't want to make those runs, and I feel like probably Eden Hazard will probably be thinking like that, because right now they don't know what's going to be happening with his leg. It could be that serious bad, I think. So we have to keep an eye on it. But I think the latest one was about 42 million, I think it was, which is quite a decent deal. But I feel like we can use that money elsewhere, unfortunately, and let the leg see how it ended. Just leave it like that.
Yeah,
I think as well.
Go on.
I think as well, talking about you talk about like the legs going with Owen. I think with the Hazard thing as well is we already saw when he was with us that he wasn't always the hardest working in terms of moving off the ball around the pitch, and I think that's even going to be worse now. And I think that would either mean that defensively, say he plays for us and on that left side, defensively we'd look a lot worse because it would only be Chilwell or whoever we have on that left side defending against two people effectively.
Yeah.
Or we'd have to move him into a different position. We'd have to play him as the number 9, and I think then that takes away from either us signing Haaland, or that takes away from Kai playing, or whoever. And I don't think him playing on the wing would necessarily work, and I think it would have to be a case of you adapt him to a different position. But I feel then that takes away from others.
Yeah, definitely.
What position would you be thinking for him?
It'd have to be as like you'd have to play him almost as like a number 9, but what, like, how's the best way to, like, you'd have to basically make it so he has no defensive responsibilities. You'd have to make sure every other player around him is doing the defending work, and he doesn't have any defensive responsibilities, doesn't have to do a lot of movement apart from when he gets on the ball. But again, I think that takes away
general with us, because he never really had to do that defensive work with us anyway.
I agree, but we saw a few times that was problematic, and I think that's why I think Sarri ended up playing him as a false 9 when we had him a couple of years ago. It's because defensively he didn't do as much work as the other wingers, so playing him as a false 9 was better overall in transition for us.
Yes and no, because I get it, but I also get that that's also because we had Marcos Alonso on the left-hand side. Like, we do need the added support there. And maybe with an Emerson, we saw how much more comfortable Eden Hazard looked in the 18-19 season when he was on the left compared to a Marcos Alonso. So that's why I think that's part of the reason why we had to push for Eden Hazard in the false nine, and that kind of worked to its own detriment as well, because even Hazard said he wasn't comfortable in that position. He preferred playing off the left-hand side himself. I remember him saying that back in the Antonio Conte days. But I understand where we'd struggle in terms of the transition, because that'll be a very easy point for them to exploit with us. But that I definitely understand. Johnny as well, big up yourself, a leader of the MM Hive. Chat to me, bro. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, hi guys, how you doing? And everyone in the chat. Firstly, I just want to say my condolences to Claude's family, and for Claude, it's really sad news to hear him go by. But may he rest in peace, and big up to him, because he's been a massive voice in the game, as we all know, and a character. So yeah, just wanted to shout out to Claude.
Yeah.
But yeah, in respect to Hazard, I kind of, if I mean, he's come to London for his injury, so that says positive things about London being the place where he needs to come to get himself back to fitness. I think he should never have left us anyway, but we get it, whatever. I would love him back. He's just such a special player. I think we're right now, we're not so reliant. We wouldn't be so reliant on Hazard, so we could literally get him for whatever it is. If it's 38, 40 million, happy days. Pay the money. We've made profit as well, and built a whole new side. Just ease him in. And let him. If he does have that bad tackle and ends his career, I'd rather him end his career at Chelsea than Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm keep feeling that too.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I think what just to have him on the pitch with these players, I'd love to see it. I'd just love to see it. I think this deal would only happen though if we didn't get a Haaland. I think if you go and buy a Haaland, like you just,
Chelsea, if anything, this deal would be so Real Madrid have a better chance of getting Haaland, because they're trying to raise transfer funds for that gets rid of another attacker off the payroll, opens up another spot for them, and it gives them another 50 million towards the Haaland deal, or maybe even less.
Yeah. I mean, have you heard what Real has come out and said anyway about? It's madness. If you could probably pull it up, but Fabrizio Romano tweeted it out, and he was just basically saying like he'll never do. He doesn't care about Manchester United. He doesn't want to do a deal with any other player with them ever again. And I think along the line, similar with Pep Guardiola. Yeah. He says Pep knows what I think of him, and he's free to say whatever he wants. Yeah. So that's very interesting. I mean, that's just put the spanner in the works.
Both Manchester clubs out.
Beautiful. Yeah, love it. So it's looking positive, because I think he knows, looking at it from Raiola's point of view, he knows that Chelsea are the ones who are more likely to pay up near to what they want, whereas I don't think United, and definitely not City, would pay anywhere near 100. And I don't even think they'll pay 130, to be honest with you. United wouldn't even pay 100 for Sancho back then. So why are they going to pay over the odds for Haaland? Doesn't make any sense. But Hazard, let's see how his injury goes. If he can get back to fitness. I know he's overweight and all this, but he was always overweight. I mean, he'd always turn up every summer overweight. He'd never used to really train hard in between games, but he'd always turn it on the pitch, and that's why he got away with it. I think that's just the way Eden Hazard is, and let him do what he wants, man. Like, if we can get him on a good contract, a good transfer fee, why not bring him home?
That's kind of what I'm feeling as well. It's a bit of nostalgia on me, because I do want to see him come back to Chelsea. In the 2 years that he's had at Real Madrid, it's killed his legacy so bad. And I know that there's more to him than this. And it's also the same thing, kind of like a Drogba, where he's had such a good ending. Do you really want to ruin it? But like Loki, everything that's happened since then has kind of ruined it in general for me. And if we could get him not for 50 million, I don't think 50 million would be the right deal for him, but if we could get him on 36, 35, somewhere closer to the original transfer fee that we signed him for in the first place, I think that would be a great option for us because
How
he'd be
much
a
was
great
it?
rotation option. He was 32
How
million
much
when
was-
we got him.
32
FC,
million.
man. 32 million FC. That's what we need.
So 32.
Yeah, 32.
Say we buy him for what? Say 36 million. So that's 68. So we're making a profit of 72 million, something like that.
Roughly, yeah.
More, to be honest, because the
More,
the fee to Madrid went up to 160 million, didn't it?
So yeah, so you're looking at over 80 odd million, and look at that profit margin. Yeah, we can afford to do that in a way, but in the same sense, how much would it be the medical for us? Because we will end up paying him compensation for if he gets injured and he won't be able to play football again. All that comes from behind scenes.
They'll probably do a deal, Wayne, like a contract. Like I think they'll, before any deals are even spoken about or even touched on, they will want to know the medical history, like whether it is what we're hearing. If it is one more injury away from ending his career, God forbid. I really hope it's not that, because you know, he's still got years in him as a footballer, and I want to see him play. Even if it's not at Chelsea, just to watch him play. I love watching Hazard play. He's a beautiful player to watch. There aren't any players in the game like him as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, if you've got the chance to bring him back and the injury is not as serious as what they're saying, but Real Madrid are impatient and they want to offload, I'd take him on those circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be. For me, it all depends on the price tag. The price tag has to be correct for us. We can't let ourselves get pulled over on this sort of deal either, because if it's too much, we realistically could be looking at other options. Like, I know we've been rumored with Rafinha a little bit. We've been rumored with Pedro Neto for a little bit as well. These are the sort of options that I'd say we should go for if we want to look for a more long-term option. Maybe even a Jadon Sancho as well, because you already know my mindset on low-key. If we can't get Romelu Lukaku, I think we should be moving more for a winger than a striker in general, because I think we need a more creative winger for ourselves anyway. But if we weren't to get Hazard and you wanted to look at a more long-term option as a winger, who would you guys want to see us sign anyway? Scott, I'll start with you.
The two names I would have in mind are probably Sancho or Leon Bailey, just because we look at the type
Bailey, I haven't heard that option before.
the wingers that I think we need to look at are more we've got wingers who can play those short passes or play the long passes or do the kind of cute stuff. We haven't got anyone that really takes players on, apart from like Pulisic can when he's fully fit and on it. Hudson-Odoi can from time to time, but he's not always on it. I think Leon Bailey is another type of that player where he will take players on. I think I had a little look at his stats when we were doing a show before, and his stats this season are, bar goals, are on par with Raheem Sterling.
This season? Yeah. How many goals has Sterling scored this season?
Sterling's got more goals, but I think in terms of like dribbles, I would get it up, but I can't remember what the page was. But in terms of like dribbles, in terms of taking players on, stuff like that, his stats are up there with Sterling.
Okay.
I think the only thing he doesn't have that Sterling does have is like the goals and assists. I don't know about assists, but it's definitely goals a lot less. But Sterling's playing in that City team and Bailey's playing for Bayer Leverkusen, so...
All right, cool. Wayne, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Well, obviously, I'm not knowledgeable football, so every player, but the one player I have seen a bit of and I do like is Diaz from Porto. Who's Diaz? The youngster who's Colombian, who looks quite decent. He scored that goal against Man City.
Yeah,
one with the ball and that. He looks quite decent.
To be fair,
Sancho.
talking about Porto wingers, sorry to interrupt, we have also been linked with Corona as well, Jesus Corona.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I don't know didn't know if he was wing or central midfielder. But yeah, and the other, obviously Sancho would be another ideal one. But another one is, I've always said this, is Marcus Thuram. I wouldn't mind him. I think he'd be a good signing for us.
Marcus, wait, what club? What club's he at?
Borussia
Borussia.
Mönchengladbach.
Ah, okay. Well, I can't. I'll
He's,
get some research on him.
He's the former Arsenal. I've forgotten what his name is. His
Lin,
dad's
Lin,
famous. That's the
Lee
one.
Untulan. He plays for. Used to play for Bayern Munich and Barcelona. He's quite tall. He's 6'4", something like that. But he's quite quick in his speed, and he gets quite a lot of goals. So
Okay.
for me, he'd be an ideal winger for us. But
All right, cool. Sadiq, what about you? Any other options that we haven't mentioned yet?
I'm not sure, man. It's a bit tough, really. I'm just thinking about the front three in terms of strikers. I'm saying, I know we're talking about wingers who should sign, but I'm thinking about either Haaland, Lukaku, and I'm saying maybe an Aguero on a free with Havertz as a free main strikers is what I want to see personally. And I think Timo Werner will still be playing on that kind of left side.
Yeah.
So I don't really think we need another winger, man. Personally.
For me, it's a depth thing. Like, I'll take another just for the depth. That's why Loki, I can take an Eden Hazard because we don't need one that's going to start every game or that's even going to be competing for places. It's just I want good depth, and he's good quality in depth. It's just use him in moderation, and I do think you can get the best out of him. Just don't use him too much because then you run the risk of getting injured more.
What
Big
about
up-
Musanda?
What are you saying?
What about Musanda?
Masunda?
Yeah.
Yo, I need to see what he's like back in game in general because he hasn't
if
had
we're
a professional match in 2 years.
We're talking about injury-prone players. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
Jesus.
He's come back strong. He's like back in gym and all this stuff. He wants next year to be his year. Hopefully, we see him playing football again. So
God willing, because that's the redemption up to end all redemption marks. But I need to see that to believe it first. Because to come back from not playing first team football for 2 years straight, to get back into this Chelsea squad with the amount of depth that we already have, fair fucking play to him if he does that. I'll say that first off.
That's what I'm
All
saying.
applaud if that happens, but I just don't see it happening. Big up Artem
Yeah.
saying Hazard's on pace to miss 350 days and 60 games in 2 years. He's in his 30s. Bringing him back to the most physical league in the world is not a good idea. Yes, if we overplay him, I fully agree with that. If we overplay him, I do think in moderation though, you can get him back to his best. The problem with Real Madrid is they rush him back every single time. If we don't do that, because we have wingers like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, who should be starting at their peak anyway. We have Hakim Ziyech, who, when he's on quality, should be starting anyway. We don't necessarily have to be forced to playing an Eden Hazard. We can even, if things come to it, we can just throw Timo Werner onto the wing again. Like, nobody wants to see it, but if it saves us having to play Eden Hazard every game, we can take the risk if it really comes down to it. We don't have to play Eden Hazard every single game. And that's where the difference is for me. Madrid, he's a 160 million star player. He's meant to be their Ronaldo replacement. If he looks like he's fit to play, they're going to play him. If we get him for 36, 40 million, we don't necessarily. That's the difference for me, and that's the only reason why I could lean towards it a little bit. Johnny, what's your thoughts, bro?
So there's one player I think everyone's missing.
Yes,
who I think
on anyway, bro.
sorry guys, I want to head out. Yeah, see
Oh,
you.
yeah, hold me
Yeah,
later,
that's
Steve,
right.
if you're doing one. All right.
nice one, Steve. There's a player that I think if we're talking in terms of squad play, because I do think we've got the Pulisic's and the Odois and Ziyech. But if you're talking squad player who I think would be tempted to move to us, I like the player. I mean, I wouldn't say he's like a natural winger, but he sort of drifts everywhere. A bit hazardesque would be that guy from Wolves, Prudence. I quite like him.
Yeah.
He's a very technical player, but I think he'd add to us. Going in the final third, he's got quite a bit of composure and skill, and I just like him. I don't know how old he is,
I don't think he's that old. I think he's another youngster.
yeah, but in terms of squad player, why not? Like I'd go for someone like him. There's another player I liked. I don't know. He's not really. I don't know if he's done well. Whether he's at Benfica, AC Milan. That I think his name's Paqueta. I don't know if you've heard of him.
He's
He plays for Leon now.
He's not a winger. He's a number
He's not.
10.
He's more of a number 10, but I like him. I've
He's
always
Leon
liked him.
now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's at Lyon. Yeah, I quite like him, but yeah, again, he's not really a winger. But it's just like someone you could sort of who's not having a great time, who you could just bring in and put in part of the squad. I don't know how much he'd be, but Prudence for me is the one. I'd go for him. He's got, he's proven in the Premiership. Put down some money. I don't think he'd be that expensive. So, yeah, don't know what you guys think of that one, but I think he's a good player.
I don't know much of him, so I can't really say anything.
Might be able to get him for. To be fair, we might be able to get him for about 30 million or something. He didn't cost that much in the grand scheme of things when he went to Wolves.
Yeah.
So it might be possible, and I agree in terms of like he's got that year or so Premier League experience that someone from the Bundesliga or the Serie A wouldn't have.
It's just like when I've watched him, he's just one of those players. I mean, he scored against us, I think, if I'm right. But he's just got something. He's got a little X factor about him where he could change things. He could make things happen, and I think it just gives us another option. I don't know whether Tuchel would or the board would go for him, but I mean, I'll definitely look at him. If you're not looking to bring in Hazard or someone, I'd look at someone like that. But yeah.
All right, cool. Well, big up Abdullah asking when's the link dropping, because the link has now officially been dropped through as well. So if you guys want to jump in and get your thoughts, let us know what you guys are saying. And first thing I wanted to ask, Johnny, is Mount injured?
A
few people are saying in the comment section.
Yeah, it's circulating, but I think it's to do with that knock he got in the game, the last game via Albania. It was a pretty nasty one because he's down for a bit, but I'm sure he'll be all right. And to be honest with you, if he doesn't play for Poland, I'm good with that. Ease him in, and even for West Brom, I think we can win that game without worrying about having Mount in the side, and then bring him back for Porto. Do you know what I mean? So, if he is injured and it's like he's going to be out for a few weeks, don't be too worried. But he's a strong lad. He's a strong lad.
Do you want to know why? We've got no Kante, no Jorginho, no Hudson-Odoi, and no now Mount.
What do you mean?
And no Tammy Abraham.
No Jorginho as well.
No. He's out injured at the moment.
We should still win the West Brom game, though. But look
at the injuries. How many injuries we've got?
Sam Allardyce away at a top 6 side. We should win, but I am just waiting and anticipating the 0-0 because it screams it. Really
let's wait because if Mount, if it's just a knock and he's not going to be risk-free. If it's a knock, then I don't think Southgate. If Southgate plays him, we know what I'm going to say. I ain't going to be happy with that. But if he rests him for the England game, so he doesn't play him for the Poland game, we might be all right for the West Brom game, even if it's just a knock. But I don't know the details. Let's wait for it to sort of come to surface.
With it. It's Sam Allardyce, and I know it's going to be a frustrating game, and I know we're probably going to miss a chance or two in this. How many chances do we get? But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Havertz is looking good, though, Lewis.
You just bring Billy Gilmore in for that game. Just bring him in for that game.
You'd have no choice, Andrew, innit?
Yeah, that's right. You have to play him. You have to play him in Kovacic.
Because if there's no Kante, no Jorginho...
Yeah, exactly. That part of midfield, there's only 4 players that play there in our squad.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
We're very bare there, man. We lose.
And Billy didn't go with Scotland, so he's been training at Cobham.
A lot of youth players have as well.
Yeah.
A lot of youth players.
The issue is those two might have to play the first leg of the Porto game as well.
That's what I'm worried about.
I mean, with Kante, we know it's hamstring, didn't we? But with Jorginho, how serious is it with Jorginho?
All we know is that he's out. He's got a knock. That's all they've released. There's nothing being released otherwise.
I think it's a knee injury. I'm looking on Twitter, and I think it's a knee injury.
Unless he does something dramatic and puts Christensen in midfield or something like that. I know he's played there in the past. He could do that if Thiago Silva's fit enough to play. And he
Yeah.
brings Thiago Silva in just for those 2 games, maybe, or maybe just the Porto game. So I think Billy Gilmore can handle West Brom. It's just Porto who
Yeah,
a
that's
bit
not
worried about.
That's not
I
a
want to
bad
see
midfield
Gilmore
if you
play,
do
'cause a lot of
Christensen with
people are
Gilmore.
getting it. Wait, say that again, Josh? Sorry.
I
No,
think
say
that
again.
if we have backs against the wall, that's a decent midfield if you put Christensen with Gilmore. Because Gilmore's really, honestly, is probably our only like forward-thinking midfielder. I mean, actually getting the ball forward. I know Kovacic will drive the ball, but Gilmore's looking for that forward pass.
Yeah.
Probably the only one, honestly, that does that.
Big up, Josh.
And AC is solid anywhere you put him in that back group. I think I wouldn't worry about it against West Brom for sure.
Yeah,
You get into
I
Porto,
wouldn't
it's a
say
little
he's
different
the only
story. But
forward thing. I'd say he's more for risk taker. He's like for more risk taker, of a more cutting edge pass in terms of all of our midfield. If we're talking about the pivot, especially. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the midfield. About playing him. I think he's going to be someone we'll need against West Brom, who are going to sit up, play that low block, sit back, and just wait to hit us on the counter on the break.
What he'll do,
Do you-
Gilmore will do what Jorginho does, and some, and that's the difference with Billy Gilmore. Right. He will spread the ball simply, recycle it when he needs to, and when he sees that opportunity to just go forward, he will do it, and he will push forward. But if he's got AC with him, then or more, look, this is the difference. I don't know if would he really play Kovacic and Gilmore?
Yeah,
No,
I think he would.
He might do against West Brom.
With the injuries we have right now,
yeah.
I think
against
he
West
would.
Brom.
Kante can't play, can he?
Huh?
No.
He's
Kante and
got it.
Jorginho are out. It's whether he puts
so-
AC in there. Would he put AC in there? Is what I'm
I don't
saying.
think I don't think he put AC in DM.
Cover and Gilmore.
No,
It'd
Johnny,
be Gilmore, I reckon.
I really wouldn't see it happening because it's inexperienced enough with it just being Billy Gilmore without putting Christensen, who hasn't played in years. Like that would be a really shaky midfield.
So do you think then in the terms of that pivot, it's more likely that Kovacic would be the progressor or the sitter? Because for me, Billy Gilmore's Billy Gilmore's better at the passing progression, but Kovacic is obviously better at the actual carrying of the ball progression.
I'd say Cover would be the progressor. You have to have Cover as the progressor. Yeah, you can't have Cover sitting.
to sit. You can't leave Cover out.
Cover's not good at sitting.
I know he's not.
Is there an option to try Reece James?
Yeah.
CDM.
Against West Brom. Just against West Brom.
And if Haaland's not fit, put him Perisic. He's put Perisic in the right wing ready. What about putting him back there?
Yeah.
To be fair, I did like seeing Reece James at CDM whilst he was playing at Wigan. He played a really good role, but I don't know if we're trying to risk that right now.
It'd just be against West Brom. I'm just thinking just against West Brom, that's all.
Yeah. What about there's a few others like Mason Mount's been tried there, hasn't he, by Tuchel for like 5 minutes?
We've got to see if he's injured or not.
Yeah, I don't know if he's...
Wait, Mason Mount's injured?
There's reports.
Yeah, apparently.
It's not confirmed. Yeah, it's not confirmed. So.
Really?
Never gets injured.
How terrible
never gets injured.
International break, man. It's the worst.
Well, that's because Southgate's playing 90 minutes.
He's been playing consistently for the past 2-3 games without any rest. So for me, that's like no surprise.
Guys had 70 minutes rest all season.
It was bound to happen. Yeah, it was bound to happen.
The Poland game, there was no need for him to play the whole game. There was just no
Albania,
need.
right? Yeah.
Albania. Yeah, there was no need. Like, why did Southgate leave him on? Take him off.
He didn't even need to start that game. That game he could have just rested. That I would have been perfectly fine if he played the Poland game, but the Albania game he did not have to play that. It's just
I didn't accept
he didn't need to play against San Marino or Albania.
You're asking questions where there is a simple answer.
He doesn't need to play against San Marino at all.
But you're asking questions where there is a simple answer. It's because Gareth Southgate's the manager.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
There are simple answers.
He's an idiot, man.
Wait, Scott, are we all in agreement here that Southgate isn't going to take England anywhere? Not passing France.
I already know this.
Honestly, I think we should get
some of the best attacking talent we've had in how long? In the days when we had Rooney in that lot. We've had the best attack, and you're trying to play with 2 DMs and play this
Dyer at the back.
Like 5 right backs.
Do you know what the maddest thing is? So there's all this talk about who deserves to play out of like Maddison, Mount, Grealish, Foden, all this lot. realistically, you can get all 4 of those players in an England team, and it's still
that's what I've said, Scott. That's why when people ask
but
me
we haven't got
compare,
but we haven't.
it's
You
a
go
load of shit.
Grealish on the left,
It's
Foden on the
ridiculous.
right, Maddison at the 10, and Mount in the 8 next to Rice,
Yeah.
and it works. But we ain't got the manager for it, so.
I think if you get Graham Potters or even Scott Parker, you'd see a much different England side. I've rated those 2 as managers. What Graham Potter's doing with Brighton right now, like, it's unbelievable. Like, people will just look at the table, but if you actually look at the eye test, and if you see the way Brighton play, the reason why Brighton are in the position they are in the table right now is because they don't have any clinical strikers. I don't rate Maupay. I think Maupay is
He's rubbish.
He's rubbish.
Yeah, he is.
And like, so Graham Potter's got no other options up front because they create so many chances. Like, and they shouldn't with the players they have, but they do.
I agree with you, actually, Fabio. That is a really good shout for England. Potter I like his style of play, and the fact that he's bringing in players like he brought in Lamptey, like he was adamant to get Lamptey, and look what he's doing.
I
Lamptey,
love Lamptey.
like so. I think that's a good shout. Whether the FA would actually look at him,
I don't think they will.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What about Eddie Howe?
He's going Celtic, guys. He's going Celtic.
No, he's not
confirmed.
No, I read a report today. He's close. I read a report.
I had Eddie Howe's in Dublin right now.
No, but Wayne, you know what it isn't? With Eddie Howe, he always beat the big teams for some reason. He came and he slapped us 3-0 at the bridge, and then he'd always get like those cheeky 1-0s.
He slapped us 4-0 away. Slapped us 4-0 away.
Yeah. So if
what about Chris Wilder?
No, Chris Wilder.
Did he not see the? Did he see the interview? That Sheffield's owner posted on Chris Wilder.
Yeah,
like he came up with so many revelations.
Right, so I'm looking. It's the Daily Mail, which I don't really like praise too highly. Let's put it that way. And they're saying that he's just missed. Mason Mount's just missed the outdoor training today.
Right.
So he's sat out of it. So that's all they've said.
Send him home then. Send him home.
Yeah, man. Bring him back home.
No, seriously, send him home. If you're not going to use him, send him home. He doesn't need to stay with England. You know what I mean?
But I kind of had to do. I think he's fine. It's just a little shoulder injury, but he'll be back before the West Brom game. They said he's like 75% fit. So he'll be back before the West Brom game.
Even if they aren't, like, I don't necessarily care. I'd rather have them fit for the Porto game on the Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree,
definitely.
Scott. I agree, and I think we have got a squad the way we're playing good enough to beat West Brom. We have got
most definitely. We can't make the same mistakes we made in the first time we played them the season, where we made so many individual mistakes. It was unbelievable, and that was Thiago Silva's worst game.
Do you honestly think that Tuchel's gonna look at all of our international players and go, "Yeah, you're all gonna start"? I don't think he'd do that anyway. I think he would.
Of course not.
We look at that other game. It's completely different because we both teams got different managers, and this West Brom team have got I genuinely don't understand how they've got good attacking players and they look so abreast of anything going forward.
Sam Allardyce
might be okay, but defensively that might be okay. But we should be beating them on the basis of they've got nothing going forward apart from if Anya decides he's gonna turn into.
I rated I think his name was Mateus Pereira. I rated him a lot.
They play him on the wing.
Yeah, exactly. They pretty much ruined him. He's a player I would have liked last season. Would have looked into because he was balling out for them in the Championship. But yeah,
they're saying that Southgate wants Mount for Wednesday. Like he wants him. He wants him to play for Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh no, you know,
insane. Surely.
This is
3 games in a row.
Can I interject that? We've had this before with Kante.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to deal with this Mason Mount now. Come on, man. Just send them both home, honestly. Like, it's getting ridiculous. He already lost Kante. Yeah, go on, man. He already lost Kante. Now we're about to lose our probably our
best player, man.
It's just ridiculous.
They should never have international football in a season, man. They should have it right at the end of the season.
100%. Especially this season of all.
Lewis also said, like, these players can also reject. I don't want to go international break. Like you said it, like.
No, because in national.
Yeah, they can, but at the same time, they're not going to do it because it's their country. They have the love and respect for the country.
Exactly. But also they might, in the back of their mind, if I don't turn up to this one, he's not going to pick me for the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's you're saying that, and I appreciate it. But look at Pulisic. he's played 2 games and he's balled out. He's scored goals and he's been one of their best players in both games.
That's good for us, Wayne.
But,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it is. I'm saying it's one of those where what we're saying about Mount and that is true, but in the same sense, with players like Pulisic, who was not as confident,
game time.
Done that, and now he's come back for us confident. So we're in that position where some players will say that, but some are going to need that time away, need that confidence, and they're going to come back and be a better player for us.
Honestly, I want to see Pulisic in my starting lineup.
Mount is gaining more and more confidence. He's coming into form. Havertz is coming into form. Pulisic is getting a goal, and he's playing more games. Like all of our players in the final third are actually starting to like get rhythm. And if we get bloody Mount injured, and then flipping, imagine if a Pulisic gets injured again. Do you know what I mean? And you just think, oh.
There's still 3 good attackers we still have. We have Ziyech, Werner, and Kai Havertz for the front 3.
The problem is the players will not refuse. If a player will not refuse to play. A player's not going to go and say to Southgate or to their club manager and country manager, "Oh, by the way, I've got a knock and I don't really want to."
Especially Mount. If you see how Mount is, Mount wants to play every game.
He'll play every game, man. Every footballers, they'll all want to play.
Problem is, he'll play Wednesday, right? And then he'll get taken off about the 60th minute, and then the reports will come out that he's pulled something or he's taken a knock.
I mean, wait, look at Rashford.
Had that knock before he even started.
He brought Rashford back into the squad
for like 3 weeks or something like that.
He brought Rashford back into the squad, and there were pictures on videos of Rashford actually limping.
Yeah,
with his back completely, mashed up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing I hate about these managers.
Well, the players should not decide themselves. A stronger manager should decide it. Look what Tuchel's done for Kante. Kante's been injured for 18 months, right?
Man.
And look, he waited.
Him in.
He waited. Yeah. He waited for Kante to be perfect. He eased him in and done it. It's the same what he's
not
doing
just
with
Kante, Pulisic as well.
Yeah, he's done it with Pulisic. He's done it with Hudson-Odoi. He's done it with Havertz. You know, what I mean, now he's probably going to have to do it now with Mount. If Mount gets somehow injured or something like that, he's going to have to do it with Mount as well.
Yeah,
and that's fine. I'm fine with Mount sitting on the West Brom.
Yeah, you love to
because if Mount sits the West Brom, it needs to just fit in Pulisic, and it wouldn't be that detrimental. Because I think Pulisic right now is in amazing, impeccable form.
But if he gets injured for us, it's one thing, you accept it. If he gets injured on national duty because he's played against San Marino nearly 90 minutes, Albania 90 minutes, and then he's half fit going into a Poland game, that's another thing, man. That disrupts our season.
And you can say,
if England can't win against San Marino and Albania without Mount, we've got serious problems. Poland's another thing, but do you know what I mean?
Poland's the tougher of the.
Blame Southgate tax. Blame for that.
Yeah, man plays Dyer at the back still. I mean,
he has so many counter players as well. He doesn't need to have Mount always in.
Eric Dyer at the back, flipping out.
This is my point, lads. If it was the case, he would have relied on Foden, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he just have Foden in there?
Exactly.
But he ain't got the minerals, bruv. He ain't got the minerals like Mount.
Oh, come on.
He ain't got it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Southgate tax for you. 15% discount.
No, but it's true. But even so, I don't think it's for minerals as a player.
It's just crazy.
He offers you the leadership and
he's a baller.
If you don't need leadership against San Marino and Albania.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the difference between both players.
Yeah, he's not the only player as well. It's just
gives you everything. You've got Rice that can do that. You've got Maguire if he plays can do that.
Please, no, Maguire. No, I do not want to see Maguire ever playing for England ever again.
I'm not saying I do either, but if we're talking just leadership, I'd say Maguire has that. Anything else, no. But in terms of leadership, if that's what we're basing it on the pitch, then we've got other players that can account for that. This is the thing. There is no we've got other players that can account for Mount not being in that team.
Well, it's not our.
Who have we
Jack
got
Grealish.
in
It's not too cool.
Jack Grealish. He's another leader.
He's not fit. He's not in the side.
Yeah.
But
Rashford's not in the side.
What about England on 21s? I'm going to ask you guys about that. Have you seen any of the games?
No.
They lost both of them.
Fucking awful.
One at a time.
AD Boothroyd, why have you not played Conor Gallagher? Why have you not played him? He's been one of the best players for West Brom this year. He is a great ball playing midfielder. And instead, you don't play him and you play someone called Ollie Skip, who does nothing for you.
Sadie Boothroyd's a Brexit manager, that's why.
Hang on, guys. Speaking on Conor Gallagher, if we're gonna have like an honest conversation, are we actually seeing Conor Gallagher having a future at Chelsea?
No. I want to see him in a better team than West Brom. Then I can decide.
I don't know. It's hard. It's
he'll get another. He'll go on.
I'd like to see him go to somewhere like Wolves if they wanted him.
He'll get another round.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or Southampton or something, or less, okay, like
so let me flip the question. If we're looking at our loans right now, who do you think out of all of our loans deserve to stay like for the squad next year?
I like Loftus-Cheek, but I think he needs another loan. Yeah, I think he's very talented, hugely talented, and he could compete with Havertz potentially, but I just don't think he's got. I just don't think his body's up to it. I don't think he can take it. Yeah. I think he'll get injured during the season, and that's it. He's gone. So I'd still give him one more season on loan to see if he's got the physicality aspect of his game, because he's too injury prone.
I don't know. I think Chelsea are looking to sell him.
I think we need to bring back Armando Broja. Because Lukaku,
I think this team right now.
I'm so fed up with the Lukaku rumors. I don't want him in this club.
Wait, why not?
Because he would give you goals, right? But he would cost you games. Against
why not?
Is Timo Werner not costing us games? Some games already.
Listen, I want to hear this. Go on, finish your point, bro.
Yeah, against Dortmund in Champions League, he missed 2 sitters in 90 minutes, which cost Inter Milan out of the competition. And then again in Europa League, he cost against Sevilla. He scored an own goal, and then in the 90 minutes, he missed two simple sitters again. Right. Italian league at this moment is one of the worst leagues in the world. It's a pensioners league. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has 15 goals in 15 games. Lukaku has only 19 goals in 26 games, and Ronaldo has 23 goals in 26 games. Lukaku is playing in pensioners league. He has an elephant.
I don't want Lukaku. I do not want Lukaku.
He's in decline. Since he left United, he's in decline.
That's untrue. That's a lie.
You were nearly there, and then it went off a cliff.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
In decline since he left United.
In decline. Shut up, man.
You only got Italian league. The last 7 to 8 teams are unknown, literally unknown.
Oh, come on now! Wait.
You can say that for like other leagues as well.
Colombian striker from Atlanta, Muriel, he is done, and he scored.
Italians know who West Brom and Sheffield United are. Do you think Italians know who they are? Sheffield United and West Brom. Do you think they know who they are?
No. Listen, I know about Italian.
That's every league.
Last 6, 7
same with Germany league.
No, Syria is probably the most competitive league to watch
Germany
now.
is so good. Germany is literally good. If we get Haaland, we would be dominating teams.
Listen. The disrespect that Lukaku gets is really unwarranted.
He's not.
Hang on.
He's not good.
Hang on. I understand that people have a problem with his bad touch, but one thing you cannot take away from him is the fact that he's a goal scorer. And yes, you can say he's
cheap goals.
No, wait, hang on. No. I'm not going to accept this here.
I want cheap goals. What are you talking about? I want cheap goals.
The Serie A is very competitive.
You know what? He never, Andrew. Yesterday we were chatting about Lukaku. He never won the Europa Cup. He never won the Europa Cup, bro.
He cost.
That doesn't take anything away from him, bro.
Everyone said he won the Europa Cup. He never won shit,
They
bro.
were wrong.
He
Hang on.
He hasn't won. And what has he won? What has Lukaku won? Tell me.
He's about to
on,
win
hang on.
Serie A.
If we're using that
so
argument,
selfish.
wait a second.
He's so
Johnny,
toxic.
that doesn't matter
His
what
best
he
game
wins.
is a friend of a
Champions League,
defender,
party fucking
passing with the
Chelsea.
left or passing with the right.
Yeah. Torres won the Champions League.
If we're
He's not a
talking
great
about,
set of
if we're talking
striker,
about
is he?
what a player's
You know what I mean?
won, Mustafi's won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we going to talk
Morata
about?
won
No,
Champions
I'm
League.
talking about as a striker who scores goals, who wins you games.
How cool? So wait, what
yeah.
has Harry Kane won? What has Harry Kane won?
Yep.
Yeah, but look at the team Harry Kane's in, bruv.
What?
Look at the team. Look at the team Harry Kane's
Lukaku
in, bruv.
banged in for West Brom and
Lukaku was at
Everton.
West Brom, Everton,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
arguably one of Man United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Come on.
Yeah.
He's on decline.
He
He's
scored
on
12
decline.
goals.
He's
He
in
scored
decline.
12
He's in
goals
first
under.
place.
Stop saying he's in decline.
Johnny,
the
let's not
second
use the
season-
trophy thing.
That's
Johnny,
injury
come on,
and
Johnny.
decline.
The
Johnny.
second season at United, Lukaku
Johnny, he
scored
was
12
played
goals
on
or 13 goals, bruv.
He
I
was
don't give a
played
shit.
on the right.
It's not.
You
no,
I
it's
don't
not
care
even
where
that.
he's
for
played,
that.
bruv. I don't care where he's played. You're there to score goals, man.
He's
You're
gonna-
not scoring goals. He ain't scoring goals. He doesn't suit us. Lukaku does not suit us.
He loses the ball in 90 minutes.
Why are you muted?
What happened?
What happened, Lewis?
I pressed the wrong
that
button.
button.
Sorry, Johnny.
He's not suited to Chelsea, Lukaku. I'm sorry. He's not.
That's fine, but I definitely
He's got
use
a
the trophy
touch.
thing.
He's got a touch of an
Need Haaland.
elephant, bruv. I want a striker with a Spanish
That
touch.
was
bruv.
good, Lewis. That was good.
Nah,
You made everyone
come
stop
on,
talking.
I want a Spanish touch.
I
I
would.
want my
I'm gonna
centre
make a
forward
big
up front to have a
statement. Look,
touch,
I'm
man.
gonna make a big
That's what I
statement.
wanted to
I would
ask.
get Carlos Vinicius over.
He's there.
He's
The thing for me with
Champions
Lukaku,
of
right?
Europe, right?
I would have Carlos Vinicius over Lukaku right now.
Who?
No, you know what?
I'll
Just
be
stop.
a
But
man.
disrespect. Yeah,
Talking
behave.
bollocks.
Like,
Yeah.
Talking
Wait,
bollocks.
The thing I'd say about
Just-
Lukaku is I'm not saying he's a complete striker because he's not. He is very much like a system player. But you're the thing that I get annoyed about when people talk about United is you're trying to tell me how good he was under United under a manager who didn't know how to coach him and where he was serially unfit. The first thing that Conte did when he went into is get him on a diet program that cut down his weight.
Yeah.
And now he's cut down his weight. He's more mobile than he ever was at United. In terms of pure pace as well, he's right up there. We have got a manager who can put him in this team and make it work. Because again, he might not be a complete forward, a complete player, but he's a system player, and we've got a manager who knows how to play a system.
But Scott, I don't think he suits Conte's system to a T. We've seen it. I don't see him suiting Tuchel's system. I don't see him suiting a possession-based team, a team that literally pushes every opponent back. He's going to have his back to goal for like 70% of the game.
Have you
like?
Scott,
I don't
Scott,
see Lukaku
you need to understand. You need to understand.
in that.
Italian league is not good enough at this moment. The
Neither is the
business that
Premier
they
League.
Oh,
go-
you're
Neither
trying
is the
out your
Premier
arse
League.
right now. You're trying out your arse.
What are you basing that
You're
on, though? Why are you
absolutely
saying
trying
it's
out
not
your
good
arse.
enough?
because
No
everybody is
league is
scoring
good.
goals in the Italian league.
Say
The
that again.
last six teams has conceived over 500 goals. Can you imagine that?
What?
Yes.
Oh, you mean
The last
altogether?
6 teams in Italian league have conceived more than 500 goals. Everybody is scoring in Italian league. It is one of
You can
the
say
most
whatever you want,
dominant
yeah.
leagues
But
at
right
this
now,
moment.
Serie A is the most competitive
Zlatan
league
has
right
15
now.
goals in 15 games.
To be fair, Serie A was always renowned for it being the most defensive league and not leaking goals. What if that's a true stat? What's the stat for the Premiership? How many goals has the Premiership conceded compared to the 500 of Serie A? Is there any way we can find that out?
The Italian league is not same. From last 2-3 years, it's not same. Like
I know, but Klasev, hold on. If you're saying
80 million on Lukaku or 100 million on Lukaku.
If you're saying 500 goals, yeah, but if Serie A have conceded 500 goals, but the Premiership conceded 800 goals, it still shows that Serie A's got a better defensive record than the Premiership. But I need to see what the stats are. We need to see what the stats are.
These 2 years. These 2 years, Italian league has been so.
Why are we judging the league on its worst 7 teams? Like,
well,
Lukaku's
Lukaku's been there for
in a
2
first place side right
seasons.
now. I mean,
Lukaku's been there for 2 seasons.
You said the bottom. You said the bottom 6 teams. Yeah.
Bottom 67 teams have conceded 500 goals.
7 then. How many did you say?
500. I just said 500 goals.
And what was it Johnny said about it being a defensive league in the Premier League? The bottom 7 teams.
Johnny is right that it's a defensive league, but not for the last 2 years. I mean, since Lukaku has gone to Italian league is not that same.
I don't like how people like to change their goalposts whenever it comes to Lukaku. Like, I don't understand this. Listen, Lukaku is one of the most clinical goal scorers out there. Top 4, top 5 strikers in the world right now. You cannot name me more than 5.
But we don't need goals.
Hang on. Let me
finish my point. Win matches. And
Fabio, finish your point. We'll go to
what? We do need goals.
Yeah. Listen.
Okay, we need goals, but we need to keep the
guys,
ball.
Hang on.
Finish your point.
Listen, as I was saying, what we need right now is a clinical goal scorer. And Lukaku has proven that in all the clubs he's been at. You can say what you want about Manchester this, Manchester that.
So did Tammy Abraham.
Hang on.
Hold on.
I want to hear him land.
Especially if we look at statistics and if we look at conversion rates, Lukaku this season has a conversion rate of 27%, which is one of the highest in overall in all of Europe. It's like top 5. So you cannot come with this argument that Lukaku misses here and there when he's clinically one of the best strikers in the world right now.
What's his conversion rate compared to who are you comparing to? Lewandowski or who?
Lewandowski's
probably is like
cool. So Lewandowski's conversion rate right now is 35%, which is the highest right now. Haaland's is 30%.
Yeah.
Boulaye Diaz 34%, and then Lukaku comes at 4 at 27.9%.
And who's actually getting the most chances? Like what's the ratio like to how many chances is that percentage worked on? Because Lukaku might get 20 chances to 10 chances to score 1 goal, or Haaland might get 5 chances to score 1 goal. I mean, it's very hard to compare. I mean, it's very difficult. What I would go with Lukaku is when I watch his goals, I feel like, is it going to go in? Is it going to go in off the goalie? Is he going to score that goal? Like if it's a 1-on-1, how confident am I Lukaku's going to put the ball in there? That's the kind of feeling I've always had with Lukaku. And the goals I've seen him score, like there's a lot of goals like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
Johnny, I need to make a point.
Like, bang, goal. Do you know what I mean?
Most of Lukaku goals come when the team
bangers too.
I don't know if you're talking about race.
Lukaku goals comes in Italian league when the team is 1 up or 2 up. He doesn't score the main goals. He doesn't score the winning goals.
I agree.
That's not true. That's just not true, man.
That's not true. That is
people changing my goals.
How many games
also, guys, you got to remember he's playing with Martinez, who's a big part of their game together. So they have
he is making Martinez a big part of their game. Like this narrative that Martinez is making him the player 100%. That he is, it's the other way around. Lukaku
you can't say that. They're both equally for each other. They're both
exactly
each other.
But people
you take Martinez away, Lukaku is not as effective, and you take Lukaku away from Martinez, he's not as effective. That's just the way it is, bro. But when you have that chemistry, all right, it works. But if you take Lukaku out of that and you put him with a Werner, is he going to have that chemistry? Is a Werner got a touch like a Martinez, bro? And I don't think. Well, there you go. So is Lukaku's touch ain't the best?
Hang on.
Either. So you got 2 players that haven't got a great touch.
Yeah, I get that, Jude. But who said we have to put Werner up there with Lukaku? Why not Kai Havertz? Put in Kai Havertz directly in behind.
Where's Werner going to play, bruv? You're going to have Werner on the bench every game.
If Werner
is on a 4-year contract.
If he's good enough, he'll get the game time.
185
exactly.
a week over giving Lukaku 80 million.
I'm sorry.
Why do you have to pay 80 or 100 million for Lukaku when we can give Tammy a contract?
Oh, shut up.
I would rather have
Tammy
Tammy.
doesn't want to accept the contract.
You know what?
I'd rather have
That
Tammy.
is the final straw, man. You're bragging on Lukaku and you're giving me Tammy Abraham.
Tammy's
I mean,
a baller,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
Tammy is actually better
He's not
than
better than
Lukaku.
Lukaku.
It's not better than
Lukaku.
Shut up,
man.
He has played
Very
in
serious.
What am I
EPL.
hearing?
Lukaku just left. He just left English
What
league.
am I
He just went to
hearing?
Italian league.
Hey,
He was
wait, what?
scared. He couldn't
Are you
do
He
it.
was banging in. Do you know how many
Are you
goals like he
serious?
scored in Premier League?
Listen,
Are you
James Pearce
serious?
has scored a lot of goals. Alan Shearer has scored a lot of goals. Andy Cole has scored a lot of goals.
What's
What's
your
his name?
plan?
Michael Owen has scored a lot of goals. What's the
your
big
point?
deal? I mean, does that win you champions EPL or something?
So Tammy Abraham
It
got winner.
doesn't.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
Shearer won. And
Jesus
Shearer won a
Christ.
Premier League.
Win
Yeah.
James
games.
Yeah,
Pearce
it
has
does.
scored a lot of goals.
Listen, regardless, lads, regardless, lads, you cannot disrespect Tammy, bruv. Tammy contributed last season.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying
Hold
Lukaku's
on.
better than him.
I don't want to hear disrespect on Tammy. Tammy last year, he contributed. He scored 19 goals in all competitions, 16 goals in the Premiership, and he contributed to us getting top 4. Don't slander Tammy, bruv. Tammy this season, he's not been as effective, but he's had to change 2 managers, and he's coming back from injury right now. Okay, Giroud is the only other option because Werner's not scoring goals, and we're still top 4 at the minute. All right, our whole final third's been shit. So you can't just go, Tammy's shit, he's no good. Tammy's still got potential. Tammy's got talent in there. And he deserves a contract, all right? But if you're telling me I'm going to go and spend, if you're telling me to go and spend, hold on, Classic. If you're telling me to go and spend 80 to 90 million on Lukaku, I ain't spending that money on Lukaku. No chance, bruv. No chance. 80 million, 90 million on Lukaku. Forget it, bruv.
Johnny, he wants a high contract and we're not willing to give it to him. So
what's a high contract? 180
he wants a high
50
wage
million.
contract. Like I think he wants what Hudson Doy's got. Like Hudson
but Hudson
Doy,
Doy's got 120 grand. That's nothing these days. 120
But
grand.
I don't think we're willing to give that to him.
Offer from Bayern Munich. He got 40 million from Bayern Munich, and then listen. I don't want Odoi slander because nobody's in favor of Tammy. That's just rude, man. Odoi is technically inclined player. And we need him for the future.
That's rude, but you're backing on a proven European goal scorer.
No one wants Odoi to.
I didn't disrespect Tammy. What's the name? Hudson Doy.
No one's even disrespecting Hudson Doy, but you're out here disrespecting one of the best goal scorers in Europe for the past 2 seasons.
When?
What do you mean? You really have less to ask me when.
Did he win Europa League? Nothing. He cost. He cost his team. You know, Italian newspaper.
So Harry Kane ain't good enough.
This is
saying they got an
ridiculous. You are trying out of your ass. I'm telling you this right now.
Lautaro Martinez is playing in Inter Milan. Alexis Sanchez is playing there. He's getting support from Ashley.
What is your point?
I'm just saying. Lukaku is not proven yet.
Start for Inter regularly. He does not start for Inter regularly.
Ashley Young plays more than Alexis Sanchez, man. What are you talking about?
All right, let me put it this way, guys. Let me put it this way, yeah. If City, United, or maybe not United, if City, Real Madrid, don't get Haaland, are they looking at Lukaku?
Thank you.
Are they going to look at Lukaku?
But before you want Franklin super chat. Wait, Johnny.
Wait, who's going to look at Lukaku?
Wait, guys, Chris. Franklin's saying, this
City will.
Slander on Romelu, this thing on Lukaku is slanderous. If you watch footy, you can see the difference in his game since getting fit. He's dangerous, top forward. Mbappe plays in a weak league, and we call him dead. That's a fair comparison, isn't it? Like,
I agree with Franklin. I agree with him. But the problem is he'll give you goals, but he would not give you matches. He'll not win you matches.
Oh my God!
He doesn't suit our style of play. Lukaku does not suit our style of play.
I don't know what our style of play is. I think Tuchel's only doing this till the end of the season.
We have a style. We have slick.
When has Tuchel played counter-attacking? When has he played counter-attacking?
Lukaku is a thick elephant. He is very selfish. He is very selfish.
Hey,
I'm glad he's selfish.
For most minutes. I'm tired and sick of this.
I'm glad he's selfish.
This is what you call an agenda. This is an agenda. This is an
I'm not
agenda.
having Lukaku.
You have an agenda. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
say
not,
it.
he's not proven to be really good at this moment.
No,
For
you have
last
an
my
agenda.
God.
You have
he
an
has
agenda.
cost
Oh
You
my
have an
God.
a lot
agenda.
of games.
That's what I have to say.
I can.
He scored
To be fair,
twice
Johnny,
over the
going back
international
to your
break.
point. Going back to your point, Johnny, I can hear the argument that he doesn't suit the system. That I'll have a debate about, and I can hear that. This argument that he's not good enough or that he doesn't do
He's
this
in
or he doesn't do
decline.
that is
Right.
genuinely, it's just factually
I'm
wrong.
not saying he's in decline. I never said he's
No,
in
no, I know
decline.
you did,
No,
Johnny.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm saying
Oh,
your
right.
point about how it doesn't work in the system. I can have that debate and like that I can listen to. We're having a
Fine.
conversation about Lukaku, and I hear he's not good enough. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. He's in decline. It's just wrong. It's factually wrong.
And the fact that he's selfish. The fact that he's selfish. Are you really bringing that into an argument? Are you serious?
No, you want
Striker's supposed to be selfish.
Listen,
Yeah.
you want your striker to be selfish.
When
to an
nobody
extent.
gives
You
him
want him to be
pass,
selfish to an extent.
when team is supposed to be creative, he's always throwing tantrums. Oh, why did you not give me a fucking pass? Let the fucking team play
Sorry,
properly.
let me just
hang on.
destroy your
Sorry,
argument.
Andrew.
Let me
Sorry,
just
Andrew.
destroy-
Tantrums
let me
all the
just-
time.
Tammy, Can I just throw your point right there? Didier
Tammy
Drogba
does that every game he
Didier
plays.
Drogba was a big crybaby when he didn't get penalties. Okay, one of our greatest ever players. I don't care if he throws a tantrum.
Also,
if he scores a goal, I don't care. That
Exactly.
point
Even Olivier
is
Giroud.
meaningless.
Olivier Giroud. It's
Haaland-
when he does
Haaland
not
is
get the
selfish.
service he
Yeah.
gets.
All
You
strikers
see him
are
all the time
selfish.
crying.
All strikers are
I'm glad
selfish.
that
That point is
Andrew, I'm glad
meaningless.
you brought up Haaland because
Yeah.
if you want to talk about body language, go and look at the
He's
last
the worst one.
game Dortmund
Exactly.
played against Cologne.
Yeah,
Go and look at
exactly.
the tantrum he had after the game against they lost to Cologne.
Took off
You
his
wanna
whole
talk about
shirt.
body language.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
ran
Can I
straight
just
down
say
the
something? I've been
tunnel.
waiting to say something now. Please let me speak for 1 minute, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Right? I've listened to contradiction after contradiction from your points, right? Lukaku and the shit league, wrong. Lukaku, his talent, wrong. You keep on contradicting yourself. I appreciate you got opinion, but please bring something up with factual evidence so we can have a proper debate about it.
I did.
And now talking about Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham situation. Johnny, you know I've got respect for you, right? But I'm going to sit here and tell you from a Chelsea fan, right? Tammy Abraham is one of the worst people to hold the ball up and first touches in Chelsea's history. And I like Tammy because he's a Chelsea boy. But I tell you now, at the moment, he isn't good enough to be our striker to lead us to the future. If he gets better in his first touches and holds the ball up better, I will put my hands up and say I'm wrong.
Wayne,
at the moment, he isn't there.
Let him finish. Go for it.
Wayne, I agree. I never said he's good enough to be our first striker. He's good enough to be part of our squad, though. He's good enough to be, if we do bring a Haaland and we get rid of a Giroud, we've got a Werner, Haaland and a Tammy. I'm down for that. But to be our number one striker, I agree, yeah. But the start of this season, he has improved on hold up. I've seen games where he has improved on it and he's getting better. But yeah, I agree with you, Wayne, in that sense. He's not our number one. I'll never say he's number one. But
this is what he wants.
But
he wants to be number one. So he says he's not signing a contract. This is number one.
Yeah, if that's the way he's going, he's not really. I get he's done wonders for us last year, but he's not good. He's not clinical and good enough to be number one right now. So if that's the case, the club's gonna have to move him on. But I just don't want the disrespect on Tammy. That's all I'm saying.
That's the thing for me.
Why would we buy one player who has a bad touch to another player who has even worse touch?
Wait. Please tell me you're not talking about Lukaku again. Please tell me you're not talking about Lukaku again. Surely you're not.
Is insane.
Surely you're not. Because this I think I saw statistics showing that Lukaku loses in terms of like bad touches per game. Out of like 10, they show that he loses a ball twice in terms of bad touches per game, which statistically is the same as I believe it was Lewandowski.
Correct.
So this shit about
but you have more space in those leagues compared to the Premiership as well. You got to bear
also
that in
the thing
mind.
that he doesn't score enough key goals, 6 game-winning goals this year from Martin. Again, appreciate the donation too. This is the thing. The one thing I take from the Manchester United spell as well was that everyone said he was a flat-track bully at United. He never turned up against the big 6 sides. But all that says to me is that he can unlock low blocks. and half the
Scored
Premier
against
League
us.
is just low blocks.
Yeah.
So to say that he wouldn't be able to adapt to the Premier League, bro, I don't see that, honestly.
Absolutely bollocks.
Really. And we've seen it at other teams. As someone brought up, we've seen it at West Brom, we saw it at Everton. For me, we saw it in United in the first season. The second season, as I said, he was just unfit. Like we've seen it with Hazard in La Liga this season just being unfit. We've seen it with Shaw at United just being unfit. Like,
I swear, if you look at his Everton stats,
understands how to coach you or how to give you a diet plan, which Tuchel does. Go and look at history. See, one of the things that he fell out with players at Dortmund over was diet plans. He knows how to give his players diet plans and to coach them or to get them towards peak physical condition.
But look at his Everton stats. Every season they improve. Every season they improve. And you're not telling me Everton were then like every season they improved his goal scoring. So it's not him that's dragging Everton down. He just didn't have the support.
Is he really improving. A Tuchel player though? Is he really a Tuchel player?
He isn't. Johnny is right. He's not going.
How many Chelsea players
don't know
that
yet.
and he's gone
In a German
improved
side,
Would you say Alonso's a Tuchel player?
He's not going to fit him.
No. But Andrew, he's inherited that squad. That's a bit harsh to say.
I think what we got to accept is this: we can have all the opinions of the players we want. If Tuchel wants Lukaku, you're going to have to back him.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. Yeah, no, I agree. We back everyone that comes to and plays for Chelsea Football Club. You back him 100%. I'm all down for it. If Lukaku's that guy, I'll back him. But what I'm saying is, I don't think he's the profile striker of a Tuchel system. I don't think he is.
Beggars can't be choosers. Right now, we don't have that options or the variety of strikers to choose from. We need the best of the best.
I'm good
and
with
if we
Kai
don't get
Havertz,
Haaland,
brother. No, false nine. I'm good with Kai Havertz, false nine.
Yeah, but wait, hang on. That might not work. We have to go with a possibility that might not work, and we need a backup option. We always need.
He's deadly there, man. He's going to be deadly.
But Johnny, it might not work. That's what we're trying to say. It might not work, and we might actually need a proper striker.
Yeah.
Right now, Lukaku's the best option we can get.
He's
not. He's not.
There's Andrew Silva. There's Wout Weghorst. There is. I would have Vardy.
I'm not even listening to your shit right now. The amount of shit you just said.
You know what? In 3 years after buying Lukaku, you're gonna have to go and do this all again and go and look for a striker. Whereas you go and buy Haaland, spend the money big. You can still make money on Haaland.
No one's saying that Haaland wouldn't be our first option. But the possibility of us...
Haaland's the one.
Yeah, I know, but we might not get Haaland.
We all agree that, yeah.
And if we don't get Haaland...
Who else is going to get him? Who else is going to get him? Who?
Are you not listening?
Real don't have the money, bro. Real do not have the money. They don't have the money.
Johnny, who's the guarantee that Haaland is leaving this season? There's no guarantee that Haaland is leaving this season.
If they don't get Champions League, he's leaving.
No one told you that.
What if Dortmund don't get Champions League? Of course,
I'm hearing
Chelsea. He's gonna go, bruv. He's gonna go. And Dortmund are in a better position to sell him now because next year he can go for 65 million. It's a no-brainer, bruv.
No, it's not that obvious as it may seem. Because right now, the best position for Mino Raiola is for Haaland to stay another season, and then Dortmund can sell Haaland off for 70 mil. That way, Mino Raiola can maximize his agent fees, and Haaland can maximize the wages he can get from him.
No.
That is the best option in terms of.
No, it's not, man.
That is the best option for the agent.
It's not. You're crackers, man.
That is the best option for Mino Raiola.
Because
they're not going to get. Look. Firstly, they're not going to get 153 million. Roman's going to overpay, man.
Roman's going to overpay.
If Marina's negotiating, she'll get that down. Believe me.
I don't think Johnny. I don't think he's. I think Roman's.
But Johnny.
But Johnny, they can sell Sancho. They don't need to sell Haaland. They can sell Sancho.
Yeah, but if they can get, listen, they've already dropped their price for Sancho. They get 150 million for Haaland. Then why settle for 70 million for next season or 70 million for Sancho? They can get 150 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna do it this season. It's a no-brainer. What do you think? Listen, Borussia Dortmund do not look in the through the goggles of an agent. They look through the goggles of our football club. And if our football club can make 150 million on a player we bought, whatever they bought him for, probably peanuts, all right? Okay, they're going to force through that move. They're not going to wait next year and go, "Oh, let's get 65 million for him." They're doubling their money.
Yeah.
Again, the reason why I'm making
can I say, like, Mourinho might back out if she doesn't like the deal.
Rayola's going to make P regardless whether it's now or
Yeah,
next
I
year.
know. But again,
Right.
the reason why I'm making this point
He
is I'm
doesn't
saying
care.
there is no guarantee, no matter what you tell me, there's no guarantee that Haaland is coming to Chelsea this
I'm not
this
saying,
upcoming
I'm not
season.
saying he's. I never said I'm guaranteed he's coming to Chelsea.
Yeah.
I've never said that. I've said it's a guarantee. I'm telling you now, he's going to leave this year. He will leave this year. He will leave.
Okay, which is what I'm saying. In case he doesn't come Chelsea, we need to evaluate our other options. And Lukaku is a perfectly good backup option. You cannot tell me he's not.
For me,
Also,
I've told you my reason why I don't think he suits us.
There is no guarantee that he leaves this season, Haaland. There's no guarantee he leaves this season.
And
Because if no one's willing to pay
want
150 mil, if no one's willing to pay it, then you can't go anywhere.
We will, Scott. That's the point.
How do you know? How do you know that we're going to pay 150 mil?
Of course, man. We're going to put Roman's got no financial fair play, right? He can go there and say, "I'm going to give you 100." He'll start off at 120 or whatever
How
it is.
do you
Start
know
off at
this?
110.
How are you 100% sure about
I know we know he wants him. He wants Haaland, bruv.
Cool, but does Haaland want Chelsea?
Well, where else is he going to go? Look at the team we're building.
Yeah,
look at the manager we got. Look at our project. Look at Real Madrid. They need surgery, mate. Their best player that they bought is on crutches.
They need an exorcism, not a surgery.
Right, yeah, all right. Yeah. Barcelona have got nothing. They've got all their budget in Messi.
They're the Walking Dead,
right?
Barcelona.
Right, so La Liga's declining.
Johnny, listen.
He's not going to go to Italy. No one in Italy's got no money. And the only other clubs that have got money is Manchester City and Man United. They're the only other clubs. So he's either going to come to the Premiership or he's going to stay put. No, but if I'm saying if Chelsea don't put down money, if they put 100 million on the table to start off with, it's going to go from there. It's inevitable. It's such a like Chelsea look at it as we have got the best opportunity to take advantage of buying one of the most generational players for the next, because Messi and Ronaldo's gone. It's fading out. So you've got Mbappe.
Johnny, if it was a guarantee,
you've got Haaland, you've got Havertz's, you've got Sancho's, you've got who else is there? Felix's. So you got these players. We have got the opportunity to go out in there and buy this player. Roman is not going to miss that opportunity.
Okay,
He's not
Johnny,
going to
if
miss
it was
it.
a guarantee that we were getting Haaland, I can promise you 150% we would not be getting linked with Romelu Lukaku.
Who says we're linked with Romelu? Who's the source?
The own if he go on the fifth, then it's
Matt
everywhere,
Law, bro.
The links are true.
I don't believe. I don't really go with Matt Law. I ain't gonna lie.
You can even go on the fifth. You can even go on the actual Chelsea website and the app. It's linked there. The links are there.
I'll tell you where the links come from. It's come from Didier Drogba on an Instagram post, and then everyone's jumping on it. That's where it's come from.
That was only a few days ago.
Yeah, like that. The link started way before that.
I just
only
don't.
Added to it.
I just see it as a tactic. It's just a tactic to take away from the fact that we're not just looking at Haaland, so we don't look like idiots.
I don't see why you guys are so against Romelu Lukaku.
I don't want him, bro.
Big up on Nation as well, saying people are still judging Lukaku on his Prem play. Conte has improved his game, his link-up play. He's really good now. He's got pace, power, and his first touch has improved. Dude really said Broho Lukaku. You didn't say Broho Lukaku, did you?
He did.
He did. Yeah. And he said V-Course. He said V-Course.
Imagine if people...
When I'm hearing some guy say Weghorst, but he's claiming that Lukaku doesn't have a first touch, doesn't have the ability, the movement. No.
Next, you're going to say Isak, aren't you? You're going to say Isak next. That's what you're going to say.
If people are judging Lukaku off one season, they have to have the same energy for Werner. Because if you're going to call Lukaku...
Bullshit, bruv. Bullshit.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you why.
I'm not hearing your bullshit.
Let me explain, bruv. All right? Werner's come from last season in arguably a stronger league, the Bundesliga, stronger league than Serie A. All right? He's bagged over 30 goals, all right, in his second season, and he's 24 years old. Okay? Lukaku is what? 27.
27, 28
Right?
almost.
I think
He's
people are
almost
forgetting that
28.
at West
He's
Brom
coming
he
into
banked
his
over 20
prime.
goals as
I
well.
don't give a shit, bruv. He's come from a different
So
league.
clearly you're just changing the goalposts.
No, I'm not changing goalposts.
You are.
I'm giving Werner a chance, bruv. He's not even his first season and you're all slandering him. It's a joke, bruv. It's a fucking
And Werner
joke.
is so pacey, so fast. He
And you're
assists the
comparing,
ball. He scores the goals.
you're comparing
Lukaku's
a
better than
Werner
Werner.
striker.
Lukaku
You're
is better
comparing.
than Werner.
Hold on, Fabio, bruv. You're comparing Martinez to fucking Lukaku. That's your comparison. Why are you even comparing those two?
150%.
Why are you comparing them for? They're different strikers. They're different profile strikers. They're completely different, bruv.
At the end of the day,
I don't want to hear Werner slander.
At the end of the day,
Give him next season.
What
and
does
then
Chelsea
you can slander
FC
him.
need right now? What does Chelsea FC need right now?
Goals.
What do we need right now?
We need players left. We need left
We're
back.
going to end in about
We
10
need
minutes.
players
I don't
in
know
the
if
middle.
we've got time.
We need players in the middle. I mean, Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic. Obviously, it's going to be a long season. We need also someone like William Carvalho. We need someone on the left back. We need like Diallo, or who's the next guy? What's his name?
Diallo?
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, what? What do you mean Diallo? Diallo's a Man United player.
No, I'm talking about PSG Diallo.
I mean, a centre back.
If you're telling me to build my team around, who would I want to build my team around? Would I want to build it around a Havertz or a Mason Mount, or do I want to build it around a fucking Lukaku? I'm sorry,
no
man,
one's building their team around Lukaku.
Well, you have to build to his strengths. If you want him to score 30 goals, 25, 30 goals a season, you've got to build your system around Lukaku, whether you like it or not.
And
you have to, bro. Because that striker needs to be fed. That striker needs to be fed. Who's going to feed him? If you don't build your system around him, who's going to feed him? He's not a miracle worker.
Lukaku plays exactly like Haaland. I hate this thing that people are going to say that Haaland fits into the system, but Lukaku can't. This is ridiculous. You're trying out your arse, Johnny. You and whatever that other guy's name is. You guys are trying out your arse.
Comparing fucking Werner to Lukaku.
Werner doesn't even deserve to be compared to Lukaku.
Bruv, Werner delivered last season, did he not? And the season before he
wasn't
delivered goals.
Was it?
What?
Was it with us? Was it with
I
us?
don't give a shit, bruv. He delivered, and we bought him for it for 50-odd million.
And Lukaku's
we're going to go and pay 70 million for a player that already played for us. Fuck all.
Here's the thing. I have no doubt. I have no doubt that Werner's going to become a good striker.
Werner's played more games for us than Lukaku has. That's not fair, man.
Werner's contributed in more goals than Lukaku has for us.
Oh my god! Hey, you know what? Johnny, shut the hell up.
Yeah?
Oh my days.
So you can go on with your Lukaku agenda all you want, promoting him and propping him and loving him up, but he ain't the striker for Chelsea Football Club. I'm sorry, mate. He ain't it. He ain't our profile. He ain't our profile.
Nah,
he's not. He's never going to be a Didier Drogba. What you want him to be. He's not that player.
No one ever said
he'll never be like that, bruv. He won't. He's not. He's a player. He's a counter-attacking player. He bullies defenders. He runs off players.
Counter-attacking, really?
Yeah, he is a counter-attacking player. What, you telling me Conte's a fucking 80% possession-based team? No, he ain't.
What?
He's not.
Right now,
he doesn't play anything like Pep or Tuchel. Doesn't play anything like him, bro.
What do you think
what you're saying?
What
that's what you're saying to me.
You know what you do?
That's not playing to Lukaku's strengths, is it?
Johnny, clearly you're not watching Serie A properly. Because the teams that Conte's playing against right now, all of them sit back.
Yeah?
All of them sit back.
Well, all the goals I'm seeing from Lukaku is him running into space, bruv. All the goals that people send me is him running into space, barging defenders off.
Your agenda stinks. Your agenda stinks.
No, it's
I'll
not
tell you that right now. It is a disgusting agenda you guys have against Lukaku. It's disgusting. Honestly, can't you just appreciate a goal scorer for what he is?
I'm not disputing he's a good goal scorer.
People out here trying to say, Lukaku's not won shit. Lukaku's never going to win shit. Right now, he's probably going to win the Serie A right now. And you people are going to say,
one of the worst season ever in
currently
Serie A.
the most
only reason they're winning Serie A, bruv, is because Juventus have fell off a cliff.
Fabio, listen. Nobody says he's not going to score goals. He's going to score goals, but he's going to cost us matches.
How?
Oh my god!
Big up Rodrigo saying
he's going to cost you matches from scoring goals. He's going to cost you matches from scoring goals. Are you even listening to yourself?
I am indeed.
No, but how is he going to cost us matches? That's what you haven't said. How is he going to cost us matches?
Because in Champions League, he missed sitters against Dortmund, and on Europa League, he missed sitters against Sevilla. So he's missing
every striker misses sitters.
Exactly. I've seen Mo Salah miss sitters.
Does Timo miss this year? I mean, Timo's missed an insane
is one of the most overrated striker for last
You know what?
season.
When Werner's going to bang 25 goals next season, you can all come back. You can all go and apologise.
No one has
go
any
and
doubts.
apologise, Timo Werner, bruv, because the slander he gets is a joke, mate. It's a joke. You slandering, bruv. You're like, oh, if you're criticising Lukaku, criticise Werner. It's a joke, man.
You never know.
I believe Timo and Lukaku can play together.
You got to back Werner, man. You got to back him. You got to back him. I'm sorry.
Johnny,
Johnny.
just gotta read a few of these out. Rodrigo says, unpopular opinion, we don't need Haaland, he's overpriced. Franklin also saying Dortmund's goals also come from counters as well.
100%.
A very fair point, because that's an even more open league than Serie A is. Doc Williams also says a 20-year-old at West Brom has performed better than a 24-year-old Werner has for us. Here's the thing: we really can't turn our nose on either of them. The only reason why I understand Haaland is at least the price tag, but Lukaku would come a lot cheaper, and he'd be the finished article, and he'd adapt to the Premier League a lot quicker because he's been at the Premier League before. I really don't get why we're turning our nose at Romelu Lukaku so much.
And here's the thing: I'm just saying, the same way people put all this negative energy into Lukaku, do the same for Werner then. But with me, I'm not putting in
bruv, it's not even. He was getting slandered halfway through the season, Fabio, bruv. All I've heard is Werner slander, but what they don't understand is his movement and his pace and his threat has contributed to so many goals. He's got like 16 goal contributions, bruv.
He's had I know he hasn't
finished, but at the end of the day, all right, there's no other striker offering that, bruv. And you got to give him praise for that. The guy is struggling. He's had to change 2 managers in this whole season, and he's got COVID, and he's changing leagues, and he's low on confidence, and he's still contributing goals. Respect to the man.
Werner did not have COVID this season. That's number one. But number two,
but he's contributed to goals that have won us games, bro.
And
he's over 20 goals a season.
You cannot say all of that to try and downplay Lukaku, a proven goal scorer for the past 5, 6, 7 seasons. You can't do that. I'm not saying that you have to stay Werner. I'm
comparing over the last 2 years, because that's when did Lukaku go to Serie A? Was it 2 years ago he went, or 3 years?
19,
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So I want to judge it on 2 years, because the year before that he stunk. He was rubbish. The year before that he did all right, and then he was at the West Broms and the Evertons. Fair enough, right?
Last year, he had a good season.
If he went to Conte under Chelsea, it would have worked out.
Last season, Bayern Munich
he scored over 30 goals last season.
League, okay? And this season, Dortmund and Bayern Munich are in Champions League. Where are the Italian teams? I don't see them.
Yeah, they're weak.
I don't see them.
Listen,
I'm sorry, that doesn't. The way you perform in the Champions League is no
point.
reflection on your league. Look at Paris and. Oh my god!
Are
you saying Lyon are one of the top teams last year because they got into the semi-final? Is that what you're saying? So the French league,
they were a top team last year.
The French league,
they were.
So you're saying the French league is better than the Serie A?
They deserve to be there.
That's what you're saying. You're saying the French league is better than the Serie A. Is that what you're saying?
Haaland beat Lukaku. Simple. Did you see the Dortmund game? Dortmund versus
You're on about Dortmund, but Dortmund might not be in Champions League next season. So then, what's your view on that?
They're still only 2 points lesser than the 4 teams in the Champions League. In the Bundesliga, they're just 2 points lesser than them. So they can be in Champions League, and they can win.
I don't understand your point. What is your point?
Actually, Dortmund can win Champions League this year if Chelsea doesn't beat them in final.
Wait, isn't Lukaku leading Inter Milan to the Serie A title?
He is. That's the point we're trying to make. And these guys have audacity to try and downplay.
Fabio, listen, your point is so weak. You're saying Haaland, we can buy Haaland after 1 year, and then we can get Lukaku this year. Why would we pay 80 million Lukaku this year and then get Haaland next year? I mean, what is your point?
We've never said that.
I'm not even going to lie. I didn't listen to the mouth that just came out of your mouth. I didn't listen to the shit that just came out of your mouth.
Fabio just said that I didn't get Haaland after 1 year.
That's how they've blown up.
I dropped you the link already, Gio. You jumping on?
I don't think Classic. I don't think you're getting the point. We're talking about Lukaku as an option if Haaland does not come.
Exactly.
All right. Here's the scenario then. If Haaland doesn't come because he's staying at Dortmund, I don't see Chelsea going for Lukaku. If Haaland doesn't come because he signs for Manchester City, then you will see a Lukaku. I get that. That I get.
We're not going into a season with enough. We need a proven goal scorer.
We don't know.
100%.
But I'd rather if Haaland was staying at Dortmund, I'd rather go and get
even if it's not Lukaku, we're not going into the next season without another striker.
I'd rather get an Aguero, bruv. Get him fit and have an Aguero, mate, for a whole season. I'd love Aguero.
Listen. Okay, we have Lukaku. We signed Lukaku. Okay, we signed Lukaku. Listen, we signed Lukaku. He's in Chelsea Football Club. What happens then? If he scores all the goals and Werner doesn't score, Werner is out. Tammy Abraham is out, and we still end up looking for another strikers.
Listen, if Timo Werner is good enough,
that's how it goes.
He will get back into that starting lineup. Lukaku isn't going to stop him from getting into that starting lineup. This is Chelsea Football Club. What are you chatting about?
He's going to play, bruv. Next season, he's going to be a big role.
Exactly. Again, that's my point, Johnny.
Guys, pause quickly. You can take it up again. Just Ross Gunn says you give Lukaku a chance, he'll finish it. Great strength back to goal and there's decent pace. Won't create, but he's an out-and-out finisher. What we need. I'd even say his creativity's improved.
I've seen him create as well, but outside
Artem as well, saying Lyon were in 8th place last year and in the Champions League semi-finals. Just because you make it in far in the Champions League doesn't make you the better team overall. I understand that point as well. Go on, Fabio. You were talking. What's your point?
Yeah, I was trying to say about, listen, Johnny, that's what I was saying. Timo Werner, if Timo Werner is good enough, and I believe he's good enough, he will get into that starting lineup. Romelu Lukaku isn't going to stop him from getting into that starting lineup. It's absolutely
no. But you're saying you're saying for Havertz to play with Lukaku, so that means Werner won't play.
No. That's a different story. If Werner's good enough, he can play over Havertz. If Havertz is good enough, he can play over Werner. It doesn't necessarily mean that they all have to be in the same lineup at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's also about rotation as well.
The problem I have is right now our chance creation is very low for our team of quality that we've got. Okay, and if you're like, that's why I want to know how many chances does Lukaku get for Inter? Yeah, how many chances does Lukaku get for Inter, and how many does he convert from those chances? Because if he's getting half of those chances at Chelsea Football Club, how sure are we that he's going to be as clinical as he is in Serie A? Because I'm not so sure he will be.
I'm more confident than any striker we've got.
About Haaland.
No, Haaland's a half a chance guy, man. Half chance guy, man. He literally needs half a chance.
I think we should get Aguero for 1 year if we can't get Haaland.
But don't you think there's a problem with the weak wages as well? Because I think Aguero, I think he wants more than 200k in wages as well.
Plus, he's injury prone now, man. He's injury.
Yeah, there's no guarantee the Aguero we're getting is going to be the Aguero we've been seeing for the past decade. There's no guarantee.
Yeah,
that was the same argument I used for Hazard. Yeah, we have emotional
attachment to
Hazard, but there's no guarantee that the Hazard we get right now is going to be the Hazard we got the best 3-4 years ago.
We got the best
exactly, and we let that ship sail for the best. For the best of Chelsea, you get what I'm saying.
You want to sign Aguero, you go back in the time machine and do it 10 years ago. That's what
man, you take Aguero, we got the best medical team. You take a player like Aguero, even for a season, he's different gravy. He's clinical, he's proven, he's a wonderful player. I would love him at Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, but is he going to get a game time, Johnny? Is he going to be more like Giroud, though? That's my concern.
No. Yeah, because Giroud's going to go, in my opinion. So to replace Giroud, bring someone in like Aguero, bro.
He won't get on the bench. He'll be in the injury room too many times.
No.
Scott.
No.
The biggest problem that you're missing is that...
Wait. Go on, Scott.
The biggest problem that you're missing about the Aguero thing is he won't come to Chelsea. If he goes anywhere, it'll be PSG or Barcelona. That's the biggest problem.
I'd probably play Barcelona. I hear that.
I'd take Aguero, but he won't come here because he'll either go and play with Messi at Barca or go and play with Messi at PSG.
And also to add to that, he's been here for over 10 years to play in this environment. He needs a new, he needs a new surroundings.
He needs a hot
as well.
climate, bruv. Slower league. I get that. But I'm just saying, if we could push it and go for him, I'd love to have him at Chelsea.
He's going to go to a league that's not taxing on his body. That's why. You know what I mean?
I would think that he might go somewhere else.
I
Might be USA. Might be the
Into
destination.
Miami.
He might go back to Argentina as well. 'Cause I think
Yeah.
I think he said he wants to finish his career in Argentina. I can't remember
Yeah.
where. But I know he said I think he said he wants to.
Yeah, most South American players do, don't they? They'll go back to their.
I'm
original
asking.
club.
I'm asking you lot though. I had two questions. The first question is, if City, who are in for Haaland, argument's sake, and Real Madrid are in for Haaland, and they don't get Haaland, do you honestly think they'll go for Lukaku? That's the first question. Yeah. And the second question is, if Haaland doesn't go this year, all right, and he's going to wait till next year, do you go and buy Lukaku? Go on, panel.
Can I answer this? Some of you are so two-faced. Sorry to be rude. You are two-faced. When you say about splashing cash, you don't want to splash cash on Kane because he's 28 years old, but you want to splash cash on Lukaku. He's going to be turning 28.
No,
Can I just say,
whenever somebody brings Kane, you're all about, oh, he's old. He's old. He's 28. He's 29.
Yeah. Before you get into that, just answer my question, lads, because that proves quite a lot of things. So
I think City go for Lukaku.
You think City will buy
City don't go for Lukaku. Lukaku
I think
won't
they would.
play at City.
I think they would.
If they go
They've
for
already
a
been
striker,
interested.
it's Martinez. If they
That's
go for
fine,
a striker
but
from Inter, it will
to
be
say
Martinez.
they wouldn't be interested in Lukaku, I think that's not true. I think they would be interested in Lukaku.
So do I.
For me, if they go for they go for Martinez because he fits the profile of what they have. It's basically you've got that short, stocky build, good movement like Aguero.
Yeah.
It just is a replacement for Aguero, or they go for João Felix because it's more of the profile of a Pep player.
All right, and the other question was if Haaland actually stays at Dortmund, but there's the option to buy him next year, do you go and spend your 80-90 million on Lukaku this year?
No. If we've got the option of next year, then no. But if it depends what else is out there, and also for me, it depends on how Havertz is going to play in the system next year. If we go next year with Havertz as being the 10, then yeah, I go and get Lukaku. But if it's a case of we can get our wingers scoring, we can play how Liverpool do, where Firmino is the creator and the wingers are scoring, where Havertz is the creator in our team and the wingers are scoring, then no, I don't get Lukaku. Depends how.
So if you take out Havertz in a number of games, because he's not going to play every single game. So Giroud's gone, potentially Tammy's going to go. You put in Werner in the centre. Who are you going to put? Who are you going to bring to the squad to fill that role when Havertz doesn't play? If we don't get a Lukaku or Haaland. Because I'd go and look at like a kind of hidden gem, so to speak. I'd go and find someone that's going to cost about 40 mil that doesn't mind being a bit part player or can come in the odd game here or there. Like I'd go to
Prime just came in, so sorry, bro.
Who, me?
Yeah, just want to jump him in quickly because I want to jump on.
But yeah, I'd bring someone. I'd go and look at like a mid-table Bundesliga team or a French league team or something like that, where I go. I'll go and get you. You can do a job and score goals, and you fit the system, but you're not going to be playing every single team, every single game.
And I looked at one. There's a guy with a 34% conversion rate in the French league.
You're being exposed.
There's a guy in the French league with a 34% conversion rate called Belaydi, and I believe he's got like around 13, 14 goals, and he's currently popping off.
He only just scored his first goal in about 8 games at the
really?
international break. I'm good. No, no, thank you.
Well, I looked at his conversion rate. This looked nice, but
this all hinges too. This all hinges too on Haaland has to want to come to Chelsea. Like if he has his heart set on a Madrid or on a City, then it doesn't really matter if we're willing to spend 80 million on him. Like if he wants to go somewhere else, he's gonna go there. Like the ball is really in his court, especially nowadays with the players. Like that's where he wants to go. Even if this summer we say here's 180 Dortmund.
Yeah, but say if Real Madrid, say if Real Madrid comes to Haaland and says we'll offer you the package you want, but you wait one more year. Wait one more year and we will buy you. Who's to say he won't do that? And a lot of clubs do that. They
might do, but the package. What I'm saying is, Abramovich might put a bigger package on the table, and it'll be there and then, and Riola will get what he wants. And then it's a conversation with the agent and the player.
You underestimate the amount of pull power that Real Madrid has. Real Madrid has insane pull power where players like
but he's going into a team where Modric ain't getting any younger, Cruz ain't getting any younger, Sergio Ramos ain't getting any younger, Hazard ain't getting any younger, Benzema ain't getting. They're all coming to the end of their careers. So I mean, if you think Real Madrid are going to go and blow 130 million, 150 million, and they've got to basically buy a backbone, essentially.
They don't have to, though. This is the thing. Real Madrid have actually.
I think
if you go and look, Real Madrid have actually got a lot of young players or a lot of good players they could bring through. Their problem is the manager won't play them. They've got that Hazard replacement, the Benzema replacement, the Modric replacement, all these players.
Who are they?
Valverde can slot in the midfield.
Valverde. Oh, they can even bring back older guys.
Could come in, but
listen,
they don't play.
Yeah, but Scott, you got to understand, players like Sergio Ramos and Modric are absolute. Like, you can't just replace them. They're irreplaceable players. Like,
what I mean is, they've got good enough replacements. It's not like you're replacing it like Modric with like a friggin' Harrison Reed from Fulham or something. You've got decent enough replacements where they might not be as good, but they're good enough to come in. But they've got a manager who will not let go of playing this old guard. That's the problem. And I feel as though if you were like this season, realistically, like they should be like some of the players like Valverde should be playing a lot more than he does. Like they should be playing these players.
Who's got the better project? And I'd say Chelsea have. Chelsea have got the best project.
I'd agree, but I think Real Madrid isn't as far off as it seems.
Exactly, and sometimes it's not even always about better projects. There's some Chelsea, not Chelsea players, but some players that have that dream of playing for Galactico. You get what I'm saying?
Chelsea knock out Real Madrid in the Champions League. They get to the final, or even they get to the final, they lose. Man City get knocked out in the semis. Chelsea are the one that's gone furthest out of all the clubs interested in him. Who's got more of a chance of winning next year?
That doesn't necessarily mean just because of that they will land
progression, isn't it?
Johnny, all due respect, sometimes just take away your Chelsea bias with it and just be. We're talking about Haaland now, aren't we?
Yeah.
If I'm Haaland, well, honestly, if I'm Haaland, I wouldn't want to move now. I'd wait another year or two, because if the dream is Real Madrid or Barcelona, none of them are really great right now.
Viable.
I wouldn't want to go to Chelsea because you don't know with Chelsea. Every 2 years is always unstable.
Yeah, but the players are staying. They're not going. The manager might go, but the players we've got.
And that's what makes it unstable. I don't taking away your bias. I don't trust Chelsea.
But there's no guarantee the players are staying.
Man City.
Yeah, Pep might not be there in 3 years.
Man City,
then what?
Johnny, stop interrupting. Man City with Pep, I don't trust that either, because if he goes, it's going to fall apart like it did at Barcelona. So I'd wait it out for a year or two, so Real Madrid or Barca can build up again. And then
I think he's the most wanted player in world football right now. He's the most wanted player. That's
you think Raula's going to wait?
He doesn't have to leave. He doesn't have to leave. Here's the thing: even say we buy him. He's going to leave in 4 years.
Yeah. So what? If Haaland goes now, and Raiola gets his money, all right, he's laughing. Haaland's got a great deal. He goes and smashes it for Chelsea or whoever it is in the Premier League, and that he stays there for 3 years. Cool. Real Madrid will build their project. Barca will build their project. He doesn't need to stay at Borussia Dortmund for 2-3 years to wait for Real Madrid. He can still move.
If Haaland comes here, he has no will or reason to stay. He will leave, and then there's because there's no draw to stay at Chelsea.
Why?
Forget the biasness of a Chelsea fan. For him, the goal is Real Madrid, Barcelona. That is the goal. There's no dream to stay at Chelsea.
So was it,
and that's the thing I had with Kai Havertz as well.
Look what's happened to Hazard. That was his dream. Look at him.
Yeah, and he went eventually.
He went.
As much as Hazard loved Chelsea, and he did grow to love Chelsea, his dream was always Real Madrid. He stayed as long as he did because he loved Chelsea. Not every player is going to love Chelsea.
And you have to be, Johnny. You have to be real.
Yeah, but if Hazard didn't love it, fucking hell, look at Jovic, he went, and then look at him.
If Hazard did not love Chelsea as much as he did, he would have left.
2 years.
Was it the 15-16 season
2015.
when we finished 10th.
2015-16 season.
He could have left when we
2015.
finished 10th. He could have left after winning the league with Conte. He could have left after winning the league with Mourinho. 3 seasons when he should have left, because that Real Madrid team was dominating and winning Champions Leagues. He should have left. Take away the fact that you love Chelsea. Hazard should have left, and I said that he should, for his own career and his own legacy, and to win a Ballon d'Or, he should have left.
And that's exactly why I looked at
They
the
were never going to pay the money, Prime. Real Madrid
No.
pay the money then.
Forget
They would
the
never
money.
have paid it.
He should have money. Forget the money. He should have forced a move to leave, to go to Real Madrid or to go to Barcelona.
He was good enough to play for most
to win
teams.
Champions League.
He would have won,
should have,
yeah,
and he didn't.
Yeah.
Because due to the fact,
If he thought to move,
I'm not done.
Oh, all
Due
right,
to the
shall I
fact
make
that
a
either
coffee?
it's because due to the fact that he loves Chelsea so much, and also Hazard, he didn't have that hunger and drive to be the best ever, and that's fair enough. Some players don't, but Haaland does have that drive to be the best ever. What is great to have on your CV? Going to Real Madrid or Barcelona and winning a Champions League and winning a Ballon d'Or. Ronaldo did it. He loves Man United, and he still wanted to leave. He only stayed for one more season, and then he still went to
Real Madrid. He's going to have to wait more than 3 years for Real Madrid to get to the level what they have.
Okay,
They cannot. Hold on, you've spoken for the last 10 minutes. They cannot replace a player like Ronaldo, Modric, and Sergio Ramos. They are unbelievable generational talents. It's very hard to replace players like that. Chelsea had Lampard. We've been struggling to replace Lampard and Drogba and the Terrys. We've struggled. It's just that transition is so difficult. So for me, as a Haaland, if I've got the opportunity to go and build and learn my trade, I've got my dream of Real Madrid. Why would I turn down a move to a Man City or a Chelsea? I wouldn't do that. I would want to progress and have the chance of winning the Champions League with those two teams. It makes no sense what you're saying. He can wait. He can wait at Borussia Dortmund.
It doesn't, because he's
no
still
guarantee. But bruv, Borussia Dortmund haven't won a fucking Bundesliga since what? Since 4 Klopp left. Like they haven't won anything.
I said that he's still going. Even if he comes, he's not going to stay. He's still going. You said 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
He's then going to leave to Real Madrid or Barca in 3 or 4 years.
Bruv. If he goes and wins us titles and that, I'm good.
And
then they can give us 300 million for it.
There's no future in that. Then
There's no future. There's no future in Lukaku, bruv. He's 28 years old.
I'd rather
Where's the future there? It's 3 years.
I'd rather.
Wait, go on, Prime.
I am trying to make a point, but you do this thing a lot where you interrupt people and talk over them.
No, Prime. I've listened to you for 10 minutes, bruv.
He's still talking.
I haven't been here 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ. One at a time, guys. Prime, go on. Floor is yours.
To be fair, look, if Tuchel's the one that wants Haaland, then fair enough. But I don't think it's even a Tuchel thing. In terms of our team and getting our system to work and getting the best out of Werner and Havertz and everything, I'd rather have Kane. I think even Lukaku.
He's not going to come ever. There's no point.
Johnny, please let him land.
Are you done, Johnny?
Go on, Prime.
I'd rather have Kane or maybe even a Lukaku. I'd rather have a striker or a player that gets the best out of what we currently have, and to accentuate what we currently have, rather than bringing in someone like Haaland, who, again, maybe Tuchel will find a way, or maybe Tuchel wants him, but I don't think Haaland would be able to get the best out of Werner, or maybe Havertz, but not Werner. I think that would just be.
You think Lukaku is?
I'm not.
You just said
Johnny, you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know what I'm thinking.
Johnny, you gotta let the guy land. Let the guy land.
You gotta let people just.
I know. All right, I'll make my coffee. One sec. I'll mute myself.
What about Ronaldo? In the first place? Honestly,
linking us with Aguero. Aguero's great, but with his injuries, I don't know. I'd rather keep Giroud for a year if we're just having an experienced older striker. I think. I don't know. I just don't. I'm skeptical on the Haaland thing. I don't know if it's a thing where, because we know Roman always wants to buy these amazing generational talents. I don't know if it's just because Roman wants Haaland, or if Tuchel actually wants him. Because if it's just for Roman, we've seen it happen before. It's just going to mess up our squad. Because it happened the same with Shevchenko. And
I will say to that point, I think that Haaland, even if he is a Roman sign rather than Tuchel sign, I think it can work just because that's the type of player Haaland is. My whole thing with it, and I agree with you on, is the Real Madrid thing, where Real Madrid are nowhere near as bad or as far off their best as people want to make out.
Yes.
Let's not forget, they're 4 points, I think it is, only 4 points behind Atletico Madrid in the league title. That's not a big gap. They're in the quarters of the Champions League with every chance of making it to the semi-final. There's every
Even
chance
the
they make
final.
it to the semi-final. So they're not as far off as they are. They are one managerial, for me, they're one managerial change away from that, because I don't think Zidane's the guy. If they go and get a top manager, they're right back up there. Because they've got the players you can put in with a bit of, like, you sell Hazard, say, to us or to whoever for 40 mil. You sell who else at the minute? Like,
Scott,
you sell Marcelo for like
you sell
20
Hazard,
mil.
bruv.
Like,
Who have they got? Who have they got? Vinicius.
Rodrigo.
They've been playing without Hazard throughout the whole
Vinicius,
season.
Hold on. You're going from
Junior,
Vinicius
they've
Junior
got-
and Rodrigo, from Ronaldo and Hazard to Vinicius and Rodrigo, and
And guess
Bale.
what, Johnny? They've played without those two. They've played without those two players for the past
crazy,
2
bruv.
seasons.
That's madness, mate.
And they've won the league the first season, and they're 4 points away from possibly
also
completing.
Johnny, sometimes as fans, stop looking at the name, because names don't mean anything. It's in
What
terms
do you
of
mean
games.
names? What names? What are you talking
Oh,
about?
what do you mean the names? I'm trying to explain that, but you're interrupting. Stop looking at the names of the players in terms of.
Don't tell me to interrupt when I'm speaking.
Come
bro.
on.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, stop looking at the names of because to me, a Ronaldo or a Hazard or a Haaland, the names doesn't matter. It's in terms of getting the best out of your team and what would work.
They're players you cannot replace, bruv. They're generational talents, is what I'm saying to you. The players that you're
but you
mentioning
have to
are not
replace at the end of the
generational
day.
talents.
You can say what you want about
I'm not finished. Generational
Oh, you're still
talents
going?
are.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're interrupting. Generational talents are buzzwords if you're not getting the best out of them. To be in all honesty, in all honesty, with Eden Hazard, we should have got a lot more from him, but because there were seasons where we just didn't build appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about getting the best out of the players that you have. Real Madrid, their big problem is Zidane. That's the reason Odegaard doesn't play at all. It's the reason why James barely played. Even though I don't really rate James Rodriguez. Once Zidane does leave, whether it's this season or next, Scott is right. Madrid aren't actually that far away. Madrid aren't good right now at all, and they're in the quarterfinals. They could be in the semi-final of the Champions League.
Yes, look at their backbone. It's their backbone.
Look
at their backbone. Benzema, Modric, Sergio Ramos. That's the backbone of a team. Of course they're going to be there.
You can't deny that. Zidane's just using the experience of Real Madrid for their benefit. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
But when they go,
experienced players.
Ramos is going to go next year. He's going to go. There's talk of him going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modric, you might get another year. All right, you probably get another year. Yeah. I don't know if he's going to leave. Whatever. Benzema is no spring chicken. All right. So where are you? And you're losing Hazard. You're going to rely on Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo for the whole season.
Johnny, they're not even losing Hazard. They didn't even have Hazard pretty much for the past 2 seasons. That's number one. Number two, you're talking about their backbone as if they don't have complacent enough replacements. They have the likes of Valverde. You don't understand the squad that Real Madrid have. You're acting as if Real Madrid have West Brom players just sitting in the squad. No, they don't. They have a decent enough squad to be able to compete again next year, even if they lose the likes of Modric and Sergio Ramos.
If they don't.
The bottom line is, if I'm Haaland, I'm good going to Chelsea. If it is a stepping stone, all good. Who cares? And I don't care as a Chelsea fan, because I want a generational player at my squad to play with generational players like Havertz.
So you want?
I've let everyone speak.
Quick question. Just because there was Roscon, who dropped the donation early, we never got it to even say it. He said Andre Silva has the same amount of goals as Haaland in the Bundesliga, 30 to 40 million. What's you guys' thoughts?
My one worry with
I
him,
don't want
my
him.
one worry with him is that he went to Sevilla, flopped, went to AC Milan, flopped. He was good at, was it Porto he was at first? Then he said he flopped, and Frankfurt, now he's starting to come back good. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a case of whether he'd be. Do we get the Andre Silva at Frankfurt and Porto, or do we get the Andre Silva at Sevilla and?
I think we need to see more of him.
It could just be an anomaly season from him.
I think we need to see more of him.
The bottom line is, Chelsea have not got the heritage of Real Madrid. So regardless, every kid's dream is to play for Real Madrid. They have got the history. I mean, you cannot avoid that. Chelsea are building their history. All right. So if I want a player that's going to come for 3-4 years and then he's going to go to Real Madrid, I'm all good, bruv. I'm going to make money on you. You're going to win me trophies, and I can say you've played for our football club. What's the problem with that? I don't care. What's your point, Prime?
You want Chelsea to be a stepping stone club? You're comfortable with
We've
that?
got no choice, bruv. I've just told you we are not on a Real Madrid.
I know
history,
we're not.
bruv.
Yeah, we're not.
I know we're not.
There are players that dream to play for Chelsea as well, bruv, because they watch
Johnny.
And I would want those players because they'd fight for it.
Yeah, how do you know Haaland's not like that, bruv? You don't know.
Johnny, Haaland's end goal is Real Madrid. Let's be real. He may not see it in the same way that you do. We all see Chelsea as a perfect.
What I'm saying is this argument.
Does Haaland see it as his opportunity to reach?
Johnny, Nick, go on, finish, Nick.
Yeah, it's just pretty simple, right? Haaland probably doesn't have the same perspective as you, bro. Like, he wants to be at the top. You've seen his attitude this season. He takes nothing for granted. He wants to be the best and always wants to be at the best. Now, Chelsea could be wasted time in his eyes, right? He'll be like, I could waste 3 years here, make challenge for a Premier League or two, maybe even reach a Champions League final every now and then. But Haaland wants to be at the top, and can we offer him that? Probably not where he wants to be. Whereas Real Madrid, they've got the history, they've got the players, they've got the management there. So it's set up perfectly for him. And of course, we all want Haaland. That's out of the question. It's whether we can get him and whether Haaland's attitude towards us is like.
Listen, the bottom line is, right? The bottom line is, we don't. Who's got that playing? The bottom line is, we don't.
It's not me. It's not me.
My streams and see the sad news.
Yeah, that was Andrew. Go for it.
Yeah, go on.
Well, who's speaking again? Sorry, I had to mute everybody. Go
Johnny,
for it.
The players will always wake up and dream to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona. It's just they are the creme de la creme. They're the most prestigious clubs. They've won it all. Do you know what I mean? But Chelsea have won things as well, and Chelsea have a very ambitious owner. And we have spent and we have bought young generational talents, and we are building a team for the next 5 to 10 years. All right, we've got an exciting project. We've got a manager who is tactically elite. Yeah, we are on the way. We could go and win the Champions League this year. Are you telling me Haaland's not going to be tempted by that?
No, I hear you, bro. I hear you,
bro.
bro.
But what I'm saying is Real Madrid are 3 years away from being, depending on who they buy, depending on their manager they buy.
They want manager.
Can I speak or what?
Johnny,
can I
the
speak?
key thing you said there was build, right? Haaland doesn't want to build something. He wants to come in and achieve success, right? Yeah, we want to build this project.
Real Madrid don't have that, bro. They need surgery,
Real Madrid
mate.
have the full power. They can just put all the pieces together. If they get Haaland in, who wouldn't want to play for Real Madrid, bro? Honestly, they'd sweep up the best talent then. They'd
Real
be like,
Madrid
hey,
do not have the money, man. They don't have the money, bro. They don't have money. What do you not understand? They're in
they can
over
sell
2
all their
billion
players.
debt,
They
bro.
can sell their
Sell
bench.
who, bro? No one's buying
But then Real
this
Madrid, they can
market.
pull their strings,
Odegaard
bro.
right now.
No
Odegaard
one's buying the
alone.
market. You say they're going
Odegaard
to sell their
alone.
players. Who are they going to sell, bro?
Odegaard alone would go 58 million. You're saying they've got no one they can sell. They can sell quite a lot of players.
Yeah, so they're eating into their younger players in their squad, bruv. Right?
Not even.
But they're not getting rid of the older players. I can't
Like
understand why do you even
Odegaard,
care about their
players like that,
project?
you
They
can
haven't
get
got the
money for
money.
a car of a
They
house.
don't have the money.
If you sell, for
But
example,
they don't have it.
For example, if you sell Hazard and Benzema, that's 100 mil combined.
No,
and
never
how
going to sell
much?
Benzema. Never. You'll never sell him. They
Because
won't sell
Thank
Benzema.
you. I'm trying to finish. With that combined, that's 100 mil. And how much is Haaland going for? Like 154.
153.
That's
yeah,
not a lot.
153.
That's no difference. That's not going to be that much. Also, Jovic, they could sell him, and you can get 30 mil, maybe
They could
40
get
mil.
money back,
People
maybe.
still actually rate Jovic. So like,
Not
it's
even
not
just
as
that,
if,
Ladimus,
it's not as if there's no assets.
keep going.
The
Yeah, I was
point,
going
the
to say,
point
yeah.
is, we
Wait.
don't even need to sell players. We're going to sell players. We don't even need to sell players. We just go and buy them outright.
Wait, Johnny, yeah. But
They've got Real Madrid.
look at
They're
Real
going to
Madrid,
have to
yeah.
wait and build.
If you look at what they have right now,
they won't go out and spend 150. I'm telling you now, they don't have it. They just do not have it.
They can pull it together though. They don't have it now, but they can pull the strings.
Exactly. Wait, they
They'll
have
have
players.
to wait another year.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They have a players the likes of Sergio Reguilon, who's currently playing at Tottenham and is on loan. They could easily
He's
sell
not
him
on
for 30. Oh wait, I swear he's on loan.
No, he's not on loan. They have a buyback. They have a buyback.
Oh, they have a buyback.
Can
Yeah,
I
we
ask
could sell
Johnny something after?
If Hazard can't play again, or he's very close, no one's going to buy him. So they're not going to sell Hazard, and they're going to have a 300 grand a week or whatever he is. They can't even get rid of Bale, and he's on 600 grand a week.
No, they'll get rid of
No, it's not that they can't get rid of Bale.
Who's going to buy Bale, man?
It's not that they can't get rid of Bale. It's that he doesn't want to leave.
No,
teams would want to buy Bale.
No, it's not that.
He doesn't want to leave.
They had the chance to sell Bale, but it was less than what they wanted. They could have sold him to this Chinese team who wanted him, but they chose to go. We want a bit more, but they wouldn't pay that.
But
So they
Bale's
can get rid of
also,
Bale,
but
it's
I know,
just about
but
what
Bale's also being vindictive. He's doing this thing where it's like, I'll just run down my contract.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just think
Bale could have left.
You're
to be
basically
fair, but he
saying
doesn't want to.
that Haaland doesn't want to come and play in the Premiership. In other words,
No,
is
we're
that what you're
basically saying
then?
it's not a guarantee that he would want to come to
but
Chelsea. That's what
he
we're
would-
saying.
No, forget Chelsea. All right, you're saying he just wants to go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid can pull up the money and buy him, but he's going to disregard playing in the Premiership before he goes to Real Madrid.
People still think the Prem is the best of the best. That listen, everyone has their own ideas and their own opinions on the Prem. The Prem is not always seen as the best to every other person that lives overseas. People need to stop this idea that the Prem is always going to be the best. That's not the case.
Well, the Prem is the best league in the world.
It is the best, but not in everyone's eyes.
Not in everyone's eyes. That's what I'm trying to say. Not in everyone's eyes.
It's the one that makes the most money as well.
But
not
even City. If you said he doesn't want to come to the Premier League, would he want to go to? You'd probably want to go to City over us. He has his family history there, right?
Or
exactly.
Yeah, so City would be City
the pep
would be
power,
that stopgap is what I'm saying. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Money talks. All right. I think he's open to the idea of going to the Premiership. I think it suits him. All right, and then he can wait his 2-3 years or 4 years, and then go to Real Madrid and live his dream. When Real Madrid have built their team and they've got their revenue together, that's the way it's going to go, man.
It's too many hypotheticals. I think.
Can I ask you something, Johnny?
Yeah, sorry.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, like, if we don't get Haaland this year, do you actually believe we can still get him next year?
No chance next year. Real Madrid are going to snap him up next year.
It's
Maybe
not
even
that's why I'm worried. If we don't get him this year, we're not getting him.
We've already said Raiola will want to sell him this year. He wants the full ticket.
Yeah, but if we mess up,
if the player doesn't want to leave, whether Raiola wants to sell him or not, at the end of the day, he won't go.
Dortmund are either going to make 65 million next year, or they can make 100 million plus this year. I think you'll know which route Dortmund wants.
You say that.
Dortmund could have made.
I'm just saying we could go to a different club.
I swear Dortmund could have made 140 or that. Dortmund could have made 130 or 120 on Jadon Sancho. They decided to not at the end of the day.
I will say
Just
5
say
points, guys, because I got to leave in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
Because I know how.
Sorry, Prime. I'll let you think. Like just this point, but like this idea that Haaland's definitely coming here is wrong. He might want to play in the Prem, definitely, but he could play for Leeds because he's a big Leeds fan. Could play for City. He could play for, say, United get together in a few years. He could come and play for United. But there's no guarantees, and I think this is where we do need to take the rose-tinted spectacles off and go. If we're looking at it logically, Real Madrid have a better chance of signing him than we do.
I don't think they do. I really don't. I disagree that they've got a better chance. I think I don't think they'll stump up 150. If any club's going to stump it up, it'll be Chelsea Football Club. And no, the person that stumps up the money is going to buy that player.
I hope you're right, Johnny. That's all I can say.
Well, no. I'm just going by
right.
money. Money talks. Money talks. Whether you like it or not, players are. There's no loyalty in this game anymore. It's just a business. And Haaland going to Chelsea or City or to Premier League club is not gonna dent his chances of living his dream going to a Real Madrid or Barca. If anything, it's going to make him more. He's going to have more of a chance of doing that. And he's going to say, "I played." Yeah, of course he'll play. He's 20 years old. He's got like another 10 to 13 years of playing. You know.
But what happens if Real Madrid go out and buy Mbappe?
Well, I think they need an Mbappe rather than a Haaland, personally. I do think that.
But there we go then. So then Haaland misses out on his chance to play for the club he wants to play for.
No,
so
but Real Madrid are trying to replace potentially Hazard now, Ronaldo and Bale. And the only player that you can really look to are, there's Neymar, obviously, and then you've got Mbappe. And they're more likely going to go for Mbappe. If they're going to stump up 200 million, all right, however they're going to do it, I don't see Mbappe leaving this year anyway. He'll probably wait one more year, maybe. But they're not going to be able to go and buy Mbappe and Haaland. It's just, they're not going to be able to do it, man. You're talking like 500.
What point were you going to make, bro?
What, 2, 3, maybe 400 million to buy those two players.
Yeah, go on, Lewis.
Prime, what were you going to say before?
I think it's Chelsea, probably fan bases in general, particularly Chelsea fans. And I know how toxic this fan base can be. I think at times we should stop looking at it in terms of what we want and our own biases. Because if we're doing this thing where we're actually building properly for the future and we're trusting Tuchel, no matter any signing that he actually wants to get and we bring in, I think we should, regardless of our biases, regardless of whether we rate them or not, we should just back it 100%. Because if getting the best out of them means that.
But the board makes the decision, Prime. We know that. It's not Tuchel, bro. It's not Tuchel.
Johnny, with all due respect, stop.
Who shushed me, man? Who
Thank you, stop. Because you're interrupting.
Hey, Johnny, leave it. Go on, Prime.
My point is just, we should back whoever he wants, and the board should back whoever player that Tuchel wants. And again, if that means that it's not the fancy big money signing that you want because you don't rate the player. If we end up buying a Danny Ings or well, people rate Basuma, but if we end up buying signings that aren't big or aren't flashy, but it's someone who the manager wants to get the best out of them, I think we should just back that and support 100%, because it's not about your personal agendas. It's not about Werner FC or Havertz FC or Mount FC or Jorginho FC. It's about Chelsea Football Club and us winning in general. Me personally, I don't care who we sign or who we sell. We can get rid of all our young players. For me, it wouldn't make a difference because it's about us winning and being successful regardless of who we have. I think as fans, we should support that rather than just our personal biases and preferences. Because in the end of the day, those don't really matter.
The bottom line is the board that decides who we sign. It's the board. It's not the manager. The managers, we know now. The manager.
I didn't say
Lampard.
Manager.
Lampard never wanted. No, but you said if Tuchel wants his player, we'll go out and get it. It's not going to work like that. If Roman Abramovich wants Haaland, he will go and get Haaland.
Did I say we will go and get it? Did you listen to what I said?
Yeah, you
I said
if Tuchel wants a player.
I said we should support and back.
You said, Prime, if Tuchel wants a player, we will go and get that player. That's what you.
I didn't say we will go and get it. I said if Tuchel wants a player, we should support him in what he wants.
Yeah, but we'll never beat the board.
And the board should back him in who he wants, regardless of our personal. And exactly, and us as fans, we should put pressure then on the board to support and back our manager.
It doesn't matter what we do as fans. We were sold a dream with Lampard. Do you think they're going to care if
We weren't sold a dream with Lampard.
Yes, we were. We were sold a dream.
I wasn't.
We were sold a project of 3 years. We were sold a project of 3 years to build a
If you
team
believe
with
that,
Lampard.
then you're
I wasn't
delusional.
sold a dream.
You weren't sold a dream. So you thought Lampard was just in for 1 year, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't think Lampard was good enough in the first place. I knew he would get sacked.
Oh wow.
If our greatest ever managers, if Ancelotti the year after winning the Premier League can get sacked for finishing second, if we can bring back Mourinho and sack him, if we can sack Di Matteo after winning the Champions League, then Lampard can also get sacked.
Yeah, and that backs my point. Is the board will buy the players. It will never be what the manager wants.
But then
The only way Tuchel will actually get a player. The only way Tuchel will get a player is if he goes and wins that Champions League and he says, "I want that player." That's the only way he's going to actually be able to demand a player. Other than that, if he just gets top four, the boards are just going to go on their transfer business regardless. So this whole philosophy.
Johnny, hold on, Johnny. Johnny, stop. Well, listen, if Chelsea want, obviously we know Chelsea's number one target is Haaland. That's a.
I can't lie. I'm going for a shower. I'll be back in 5.
That's a fact. Chelsea's number one target is Erling Haaland. But at the same time, if Chelsea want Lukaku as second choice, remember it's an alternative. He's not the number one target. We know, innit? Yeah. So there's nothing what can we do? He wants Lukaku. I mean, you keep saying that he wants fucking he's not gonna suit the game or whatever. Bruv, what does that mean? That don't mean anything. That don't mean. How do you know he's not going to suit the system or whatever, innit? You don't know that.
Who are you talking to me?
Yeah, Johnny, Lukaku.
Yeah. He doesn't suit our system, bro. He doesn't.
You
suit our
don't
system.
know that though. Why? You keep saying that?
I honestly cannot say that he suits our system, mate. And with a player like Lukaku, you have to build around his strengths. And I don't want to build around a player like that. I'd rather build around a player like Havertz as a false nine or a Haaland type striker, bro.
So you think
I wouldn't build around
Werner? So what about Werner that we have now?
Werner can play off Havertz currently right now.
Why
and
can't
if that
Werner play
works,
off Lukaku?
Because Lukaku's touch is no good, man. It's no good. His first touch is no good.
Johnny, have you watched him this season?
He's not got a better touch than Haaland, and Haaland's 20 years old. Lukaku's touch is not getting any better. It's not going to get any better.
Have you watched him this season?
It has though.
Have you seen him this year?
I've watched bits, and I said on your stream yesterday, I'm going to pay some attention and watch him. But from what I know, from what I've seen of him, all right, he's a shit house. There's no disputing that, and he puts the ball in the net. Cool, but in terms of how Tuchel plays, I don't see him as a Tuchel profile player to suit the system we're playing.
Johnny, he's got 19 goals this year.
I don't care whether he's got 19 goals, bro. I don't give a shit, bro.
You think
I
Tuchel
don't
could
care.
not?
I'm talking about him coming in, putting a Chelsea shirt on, and playing in our system. He suits Conte's system. Conte's system's built around Lukaku, bro. It's perfect for Lukaku.
Cannot, Tuchel's
why would,
no.
Why would Tuchel adapt?
Yeah, not bad, bro.
A
You're
system that's working to a player that we sign in. No chance, man. No chance.
I've came into the Lukaku slander. I looked at this an hour ago. We're still talking about blimmin' Lukaku.
At the end of the day, Johnny, we need a striker that's going to score goals. When you look at Lukaku, he's had one. You can only since he started playing. So since the West Brom season, which was like half of the season because he wasn't even there for the full season. Since the West Brom season up till now, he's had one bad season, and even with that one bad season, he still scored double. In that one bad season, hold on. In that bad season, hold on. In that bad season, he scored double the amount of goals, or more than more than double the amount of goals Timo Werner did. In that worst season in the Premier League.
You're comparing, and I get pissed off because you're comparing a Timo Werner who's not a centre forward like Lukaku. If you say to me we're looking at Haaland, Lukaku, you don't look at Werner in that same mould of striker. They're different strikers. He's more of a Martinez mould striker, right?
Isn't it funny?
So without Martinez,
go on, Jem.
Can I finish? It doesn't work as well together, right? Yeah, that's the
Johnny.
bottom line. So we can't compare Werner. Werner's contributed untold over 16 goal contributions, if not more, and he's still not put the ball in there. That's credit to him as a striker and what he offers us. Bringing Lukaku in, who's got a touch of an elephant, into my forward line. He has, bro. He's rubbish.
Johnny, have you watched him this season?
I've watched goals, yeah. The goals that people have sent me is him running into space, bulldozing past defenders, bruv, or doing a little turn and that, and the ball's way away from him and he just smashes it.
Bro, he's been doing that.
He's not going to have.
He's failed. He's also failed at 2 top teams as well. People forget this, and we are very reactionary as football fans.
How though? How did
we are because would we be talking about Romelu Lukaku this season if he didn't have the season he had? We forget the past very quickly, and we think about it now. And that's the issue I've got with Romelu Lukaku.
He was the top goal scorer in the Europa League.
Since Lukaku first came to Chelsea, he has had one bad season. One. In the other season, remember, we're talking about goal scorers, right? Lukaku, even when we talk about as much as we love Diego Costa and blah, blah, Lukaku outscored Diego Costa. In every season, they were in the Premier League.
Lukaku is not the answer for Chelsea Football Club, I'm telling you now. He's not the player that we need. If you bring him in, you're going to have to build around him. We've got too many top players in that team to be building around individual players. But my point is Haaland brings more than him. And I agree with Johnny. If I had the choice between Haaland and Lukaku, I'm picking Haaland.
That's not a discussion.
Yeah, I pick a Haaland.
Guys,
I think everybody does.
We're not discussing, We're not discussing who should we buy, Haaland or Lukaku. That's not what we're discussing. The discussion is if we can't get Haaland, should we then go for Lukaku? That's the discussion.
Can he cope with the tempo of the foot? Wait. Can he cope? Wait. Can he cope with the tempo of the game that was currently played in the Premier League? Yes, he's played here before under West Brom and Everton.
Let him down every time.
Where his touch did let him down. Under Man United, how many times did he completely flop in front of goal?
You guys keep talking about touch. Oh, he's got a bad touch. He's got this, he's got that. But yet he's still outscored people with great touches.
Because he's in a system, Monster. He's in a system that's built for him.
He's playing in an Italian league as well. I'm talking
about in the Premier League. In the Premier League, these strikers.
Monster, I'd rather play Mason Mount up front than flipping.
No. Guys. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna bring up Lukaku's goal scoring seasons in the Premier League because you lot are just.
I was gonna say Monster.
When you
say that, you're bringing up his goal scoring what he's done throughout each season, but then we could have done the same with Timo Werner, and we're having the same fucking problem. So what difference does it make bringing Lukaku back?
That's one thing I do worry about.
Werner's not even had a season. He's not even had a season, mate. He's not even had a season, and we're still comparing Werner to him.
Lukaku's done it in the Premier League.
Bro, Lukaku, barring that one season, Lukaku's scoring around 20 plus goals a season. 20 plus goals a season. If Chelsea had, who is that? Who's playing that?
Who's he playing? Empoli, Chiva.
Sorry,
yeah,
that's me.
Hold
on, wait. But you guys keep bringing up him. All you guys are bringing up as an argument is Lukaku in the Serie A, which he is banging goals, and then Lukaku at one bad season. You're not bringing up his great seasons in the Premier League at Everton. His first season at Man United.
He was built around.
Season at West Brom.
Monster, I get all that. I'm not disputing that. I've never disputed he scored goals. He's a goal scorer, but I'm talking about him going into a system of Chelsea and Tuchel. And he doesn't. For me, he's not that profile that I would look at. I just wouldn't look at him.
What's the profile of player you need for Tuchel?
Can I ask?
Haaland for me, he's got a better first touch. Yeah.
Shut up,
more
Jim.
Clinical,
Tammy Abraham.
Right. He's more clinical.
Jorginho.
Right. And Jorginho. No, man.
Krusty the Clown.
And someone like Kai Havertz, who's a false nine, who's got an elegant touch. There's not many strikers that have got a touch like Diego Costa as a centre forward.
Listen.
Can I just say one more thing quickly from us before you go, right?
Because it's all about the hold-up play. It's hold-up.
Do not be surprised. We're all sitting here talking about strikers. Do not be surprised if Chelsea Football Club do not go and get a striker in the summer. I'm warning you now.
They will get a striker.
No. We think they will, yeah? But I'm telling you now, we could go and buy a creative winger. We could go and potentially, I'm not saying we're going to get him, go and get a Sancho and add and add to that front
Sancho.
three in a
Fair
different
enough.
way. Giving you an example, I'm not saying it's going to be Sancho, but I'm just saying don't be surprised or fooled by us completely going away for a striker. Because if we don't get Haaland,
fair
and I think
enough.
Man City will do after what they did yesterday, I don't think we're going to waste money on players that are going to be
After
big
what,
ifs or buts.
If you guys go
That's
watch,
what I think.
if you guys go look at Fabrizio Romano's tweet, where he basically it was basically quoting Mino
United and
Raiola.
City. Yeah.
I can tell you, I just think he's not going to City. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But once
They've
again,
got no Aguero.
since you don't want to,
we're the club
disrespect
monster.
Lukaku, hold on. Since you don't want to disrespect Lukaku, I'm bringing up his goal scoring. What's it called? Of the past since 2012, innit? So this season, man's got so far this season. So the season's not over. He's already got 25 goals and 7 assists. Listen to this. Last season, tell me this is not a prolific goal scorer. Last season, 34 goals, 6 assists. Yeah, that's last season.
In all competitions.
Before that, in all competitions.
Yeah, okay.
The season before that, this was the bad season. The bad season for Man United, 15 goals and 4 assists.
Before you carry on, Monster,
Tammy
before you
Abraham
carry on,
level.
I did want to bring up with that season, only one player in that United team outscored him as well.
And look at the season before at
Tammy
Man
scored more
United.
goals than him.
Hold on. The season before at Man United, 27 goals and 9 assists. The season before. So you guys keep bringing up one bad season. Let's go back to Everton.
And what
At
did
Everton,
he win with those goals, Monster?
He won a League Cup and
Mustafi's
Europa
a World
League.
Cup
He didn't
winner.
win the Europa League. He did not win the Europa League, bruv. He didn't win it.
What? He was
I've got a United fan.
That's wrong. That is the wrong season. He didn't win the Europa League.
He
at
didn't
that
win the
season.
Europa League.
Wait,
bruv.
was he at Everton that season?
Yeah,
but
at Everton he was.
This
still.
winning
wait,
trophy
hold
thing
on.
doesn't matter.
It
fair
doesn't
enough.
take anything away from the point, in it. But
Okay, 27,
No,
but still.
yeah, but his
27
goals
goals.
didn't contribute. What did they contribute to winning or achieving?
Bro,
Like they
like,
didn't,
you-
they didn't achieve anything, man.
Okay, Johnny,
I
what
don't
did
think
you-
winning
since
trophies
you're screaming-
place.
No.
Second
Guys, let me
place
get
with
Johnny.
crap
Johnny,
United
since
team.
you're screaming about what did he win, tell me, what did Haaland, all the goals he scored, what did he win?
Haaland's 20 years old, Monster. He's just
No,
coming
but
to
you're
the game.
using the same. We're not talking about
No,
age.
but he's
You're
20
talking
years
what
old.
did he win?
Sorry,
What about Harry Kane?
Let's go back to a point I made earlier. Mustafi's a fucking World Cup winner. Should we go and sign him? Fucking Lloris is a World Cup winner. Are you going to tell me he's the best keeper in the world? Fucking Areola, who's playing for Fulham, has a World Cup medal. Yeah.
No,
Ryan
you're a goal
Bertrand won the
scorer. You're a
Champions
goal
League.
scorer,
You know
so
what I
your
mean?
goals
It's like
have to
that.
contribute to doing something. What did
They
you do?
finished
with those
second.
goals,
They
bruv?
finished second.
All
in
that
the
one,
league.
all the goals,
then.
your defending contributes to you winning something. Yeah, like a World Cup. But Mustafi's a trash centre back. Don't tell me because they've won something that or they haven't wgot something.
He
they're
doesn't
not
suit.
what they
He
want
doesn't
for.
suit our system, and I'll
Johnny.
stand by it. I'll stand by it all day
Johnny,
long.
well then, if you want a serial winner, what about Ronaldo then? Because Juve could let him go, you know, because they want money for him, and the project hasn't worked out for him in Italy.
Bruv,
So
I would love.
just
I
not
would
my- he's
love.
just not my second choice.
for
I
2
would
years.
love. I would love Ronaldo, bruv, just for the fact that Ronaldo played for Chelsea Football Club. Of course, I would. Generational. It would never happen. It'd never happen. I don't think it would ever happen.
Well, if we slap like 50 mil on the table, you don't think Juve will take
why
anything?
why would you bring Ronaldo now for 50
I
million?
would want Ronaldo anyway.
That makes no sense.
Stick him as centre forward, mate. Stick him as centre forward.
No, we don't even need him. Trust me,
Like,
don't be
no,
surprised if we
I
don't
feel
get
like
a blooming
Lukaku's getting
striker.
disrespected, man. The man's come
He is.
here.
He's getting heavily
He
disrespected.
scored goals. He had one bad season in the Prem, one bad where he scored 15 goals, and still people.
Do you know
are
what it is, Monster?
disrespecting like
It's
he's
not
the
it's
guy.
It's the profile he is. I just
it's not
don't
the
like his
disrespect.
style, bruv. I
It's
don't
not
like
it's not
his
it's not the
style, bruv.
disrespect to him because if he came through the door tomorrow, I'd back him. You know, like I
Yeah,
do with all my
yeah.
players.
Yeah,
but
of
he
course.
just isn't for me. First or second choice striker. That's all. That for me personally. You know, so it's not that look. He's doing bits. He's scoring goals. He's
There's about
contributing.
two
That's
other
cool.
Jen doesn't like
But-
people.
Hold on,
Jen
there's
doesn't
only-
like players who come to Serie A.
In Europe, there's about 2 other strikers. In
We've
Europe,
got Tammy
yeah,
Abraham. Why do I?
hold on.
I'm joking.
In Europe, there's about 2 other strikers outscoring him.
Beefed up.
That's
Danny
Lewandowski
Welbeck.
and Haaland. He's like the 3rd most prolific striker in Europe.
I'd rather go and get Lewandowski, bruv.
Oh, for God's
We're not going to get Lewandowski.
Not gonna get Lewandowski. Everyone in the world would want
These are
Lewandowski.
realistic targets.
And I want to win 100 million.
Yeah, I want
lottery, you know
Messi.
what I mean? It's
Listen, we got the money.
why not?
We
Why
got
not
the
get-
money. We got the money. Money talks.
Money is not everything.
Money will be put down, and Haaland will come, mate.
I don't know about that. Still,
He will, he'll
I don't
come.
think he is. If in my honest opinion, I don't think he will.
I feel like you
There's
man
only
are,
too many
you
people.
man are proper
And
disrespectful.
if he might come, like we might ruin his career again, like we did in the past.
We still haven't replaced a striker since Diego Costa, and that's the issue we got. And we're looking for these high-profile players, you know, like Haaland, all right, even Lukaku. But who's to say they're going to come in and perform to the levels that Costa and Drogba did in the past? Do you know what I mean? It's all a big risk. We've got to spend the money at the end of the day. If we can do it, we'll do it. But I just feel like there's so much competition for Haaland, and that's where I think we'll lose, to be honest.
If Lukaku comes to Chelsea, I don't want anything less than 25, 28 goals. Anything less.
You can't what?
I don't want anything less than that.
Bro, Diego Costa didn't even score that. How can you expect that from Lukaku?
Johnny, man, you're going wild.
Are you telling me, right? We don't create. Well, what do we create this season? We haven't created that many chances. Are you telling me you're confident that Lukaku will get anywhere near what he's getting in Conte's side with us not creating as many chances?
I'll tell you what.
That's why Sancho could be a good deal. Do you think he's that clinical? Do you think he's
I'll
really
tell
that
you
clinical?
what. If he comes to Chelsea, listen, he will definitely be the highest goal scorer at Chelsea, number one, and he will put away chances that our other players are not putting away. But to say you expect him to get 25 plus or whatever, to me that's just a bit too much, because no striker, not even at times, most of the time, Didier Drogba didn't even score that many goals. Do you know what I mean? Barring the two seasons where he got highest goal scorer, not even he was doing that.
Monster, I'd be interested to know how many chances
shifting
he
the
gets.
goalposts.
I'd be interested to know how many chances he gets a game and how many he converts.
That's what I've been asking. That's what I've been asking.
That's what
but
I'd be interested to know.
No one's answered it for me. I think we need to do the research, because that is the big factor for me. Does he need 6 chances to score a goal? And if we're only creating 5 chances in a game, do you know what I mean? Is he going to convert those chances when we need our striker to step up? That's what I want to know.
He's gonna convert chances. I guarantee. Listen,
Because I know Haaland's more clinical, and so is Lewandowski.
Well, obviously. You're talking about the best striker in the world and the best young striker in the world.
Oh, yeah, that's
who I want at my club. I don't want second best. I don't want second best.
You're talking about the best. Sorry to interrupt, Fatima. You're talking about the best striker in the world and the best young striker in the world. Unfortunately, striker at the minute is a niche market. There's not a lot of world-class levels like strikers on the level of what you're talking about. So then you have to go a little bit down, which is the level Lukaku's on.
Yeah.
I get that, but I just honestly think Roman will put all the money down.
Why don't we just get Patrick Bamford?
And also, Jim, can I cut that? Wait, Johnny, you don't rate Lukaku, yeah? So why do you expect a striker you don't rate to score at least plus 25 goals?
Because everyone's telling me he's scoring 30 goals a season.
I'm going to be honest with you. If we don't get Haaland, I'd actually prefer to have Aguero as a second striker or first.
I said that.
Now you're
I would.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Aguero.
You're telling me
you get half
convert?
the season match out of Aguero anyway.
I wouldn't. To me, Aguero should come as a second choice. So
54% chance conversion for Lukaku apparently.
Second choice, and we'll be rotating, which means you'll be playing. A lot of games
but I don't
anyway,
want to.
And we're in all competitions.
I'd rather not depend on Aguero, being that Aguero is always injured all the time. So we don't need to be depending on him. If he comes as a second choice, bro, who's to say we can't get Lukaku and Aguero or Haaland and Aguero?
Yeah, if Tammy and Giroud go.
He's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to ask, who shushed me on the stream?
Prime, I think.
Was it?
I think so.
I don't really. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was prime, but I don't think it was anything deep.
Yeah.
You guys are just going back and forth, innit? That's all.
Yeah, it's like two balls just colliding with each other. It doesn't, you don't get anywhere.
Clash of balls.
Where did Prime go? Is he gone?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
After you left as well.
Oh shit, you left time ago. All right.
Anyway, I'm going to have a barbecue. Enjoy your Chelsea.
See you later, Jem.
See you later. Take care, Lewis and
No, it's cool, bro. Jem, thanks for that, because I need to cut off this stream half an hour ago. I appreciate everyone who's jumped on. The link to GNA TV, Scott's Twitter, Johnny's new channel, Monster CFC. Everyone's socials are down in the description below, so check it out. Appreciate you getting into this big ass Lukaku debate, because I didn't even know we were getting to this. We were originally talking about Eden Hazard. But big up everyone who's been involved. Monster Jem, thank you for jumping on as well as everyone else who's have to say too. If we're around for a stream tomorrow, I'll let you guys know. If not, anyways, we'll see you guys in the next stream. But until then, take care, like and subscribe, up the Chelsea, all of that. You already know. And yeah, because we said money will leave with money, mates. Take care, like and subscribe, and up the Chelsea.
Lukaku.